Calling of the 12 tribes.
Yes.
Tribes to the east. Yahawah.
Yahawah.
Bunyamya. Dan. Shema. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. South. Tribe to the south. Shamaiwan. Yashakar. Zabalawan. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. Tribe to the west. Gad. Ashar. Naphtali. Shammai. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Tribe to the north. Roban. Yahawah. Loya. Shammai. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Blessings of the Shabbat. Repeat the Hebrew. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Nathanawa. Hashabak. Vashalawam. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the law. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Nathanawa. Torah. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the light to see. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Nathanawa. Ha'awar. Laka'ah. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the ram horn to call the people. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Nathanawa. Ha'awar. Ha'ayah. Quran. Lakra'ah. Ha'ain. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Nathanawa. Hashaman. Zayah. La. Mashak. Yasharallah. The book of Psalms, chapter 92 in English. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Most High, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahawah, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Most High, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that shall they be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahawah, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahawah, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear the desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Most High shall flourish in the courts of our power. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Most High is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman. This is the Ten Commandments and the Last Roll Kadash. Repeat the Hebrew. La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahaim, Akorim, Aponya. La'ah, Taisha, Lakah, Pasah, Wala'ah, Taibadam. La'ah, Talakwakwa, Sham, Yahawah, Bashawa, Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabah, Lakwidashwa, Kabad, Abaka, Wa Amaka. La'ah, Thratazak. La'ah, Tana'ah. La'ah, Taganab. La'ah, Ta'ainab, Shakur. La'ah, Takamad, Ka, Asherah, Lara'aika. Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman.
The book of Psalms, chapter 121, and verse 1.
Ten Commandments.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and shew mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman.
Aman. This is Psalms 121 in the last one Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Anashah, Ayim Yam, Ayo, Maharyam, Mayan, Yahawah, Azarya, Yahawah, Mayawa, Shaisha, Shamayam, Warataza, La'ah, Yanathan, Lamawat, Regalia, Yala'ah, Nawam, Shashamarya, Ana, Yala'ah, Nawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shashamamar, Yasharala, Yahawah, Shamarya, Yahawah, Tazalia, Al, Yeminya, Ya, Hashamash, Yala'ah, Hakaya, Bayawam, Wala'ah, Alabana, Bayala'ah, Yahawah, Yashamarya, Makar, Rai, Yashamar, Napasya, Yahawah, Shamarya, Hawalakya, Wabaya, Maitha, Wai, Aibalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman.
The book of Psalms, chapter 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall not neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, the word of the Yard. Amen.
Amen. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Lashon Kodash. Read the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahawah. Belakwavka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Baharatazah. Kawa. Bashamayim. Katananawa. Lakol. Kalyawon. Wasalat Nawa. Kabawath Nawa. Kasalat Nawa. Kabawathi Nawa. Wala'ah. Tabayanawa. Banasai 1, Abo, Awashayana, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapa Arad, Laiwalamya, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the yard, Aman.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, the word of the Yard. Amen.
Aman. This is Psalm 33 in the Lashon Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Shaya, Amlawa, Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tawa, Wama, Nayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gum, Yakad, Kashaman, Atawa, Al, Araash, Yarad, Al, Azakwan, Zakwan, Aharan, Shayarad, Al, Payah, Marawatua, Kato, Karamwan, Shayarad, Al, Araya, Tazawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazwa, Yahawah, Abaraka, Kayam, Ibulam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the yard, Aman.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded a blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, the word of the Yard. Amen.
Aman. Psalms 150, the praise. Praise he the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah in his sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the sound of the trumpet.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the timbrel and dance.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with string instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah upon the loud cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that hath breath praise Yahawah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise ye the Most High. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman. Abanawa Yahawah, we come to you with a humble heart, mind, and soul on this Shabbat day. The water Yahawah for bringing us, Lord, through the week and allowing us to have safety out on the highways and byways, guiding us, Lord, to and from our houses. We ask, Lord, that you feed us with the heritage of Jacob, our father, on today. We ask that you continue to pour out your spirit, your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, O Lord, that we may be washed and cleansed, Lord, made white as snow, Lord, given a new heart, not a stony one, Lord, but one of flesh. Thank you, Lord, for all the souls that are in this room, Lord, and everybody else, Lord, who's gathered today in your name, O Yahawah. May you continue to redeem the children of Israel, Lord, and sanctify them through your word. We thank you and give you praise always for your mercy and truly endures forever. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, the water, the yard, Aman.
Amen.
Shall we may be seated. Salute. Oh,
regular arm.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So Hebrews, scattered by the four corners of the earth. Happy Sabbath. Okay. Just gonna do a little short class before we get into the actual Torah portion. And the short class I'm about to get on and talk about is your money can't save you. Okay, so we're gonna get into some scriptures dealing with this topic. Okay, a lot of people think that riches is gonna, last forever in this kingdom. Okay, we already know that. Okay, it's only about a moment in time. Okay, a lot of people have these riches and fancy houses and cars and stuff, but in realization, you can't take those things with you. Okay? The Most High is looking at your spirit. He's not looking at the possessions that you have. All right? So let me get Colossians chapter 3, verse 17.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the other one Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and the hour by Him.
Giving thanks to Yahawah, yahawashi, who people typically call Jesus Christ. Okay, we already know he speaks Hebrew. Okay, spoken in Hebrew tongue. All right, so we're going to jump to Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 4.
The book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 4. Riches, what? Riches.
It says riches, read.
Profit not in the day of wrath.
It says riches profit not in the day of wrath. Okay. It don't matter how much you have in the bank, what you get buried, okay, in the walls, in your backyard, in your bank account, under the mattress. That's not going to save us in these last days, man. Okay? When chaos erupts and martial law and all this stuff kick off, you can't pay your way, man. Okay? You can't offer nobody cash, okay, because destruction is going to ensue. All right? Read on.
But righteousness.
But who?
But righteousness.
It says, but righteousness, read.
Delivereth from death.
Delivered from death. And what's righteousness? Right. Anybody know? Scripture? Deuteronomy 6:25. All right, let's get it.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
And it should be our who?
It shall be our righteousness.
It should be our righteousness. And it said everybody's righteousness. Read.
If we observe to do all of these commandments before the Most High, our power.
For the Most High Yahawah, man. Okay? That's our righteousness as a nation of Israelites. Okay, according to the scriptures. All right. Now let me go to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 18.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 18. Neither their silver,
it says, neither their silver, read,
nor their gold,
shall
be able to deliver them in the day of the Most High's wrath.
In the day of the Most High's wrath. Okay, when destruction cometh upon this earth, especially Babylon. Okay, this place needs destruction, man. Okay, the way they carry out these laws and the LGBT community and the way we've been treated as a nation of people, once we touch the soul of America, this place deserves it, man. Okay? For the destruction of our people, not knowing who they are, not knowing that they have a nationality, okay? Law, statute, commandments to abide by. Okay, but we fell into the ways of America, man. Okay? Our blood has been shed on this soil for many generations, man. And nothing has changed, okay? These nations hasn't changed. They still have their foot on our necks, man. Like literally. We already know about that situation. All right. But it's time for us to rise back up as a nation of people, man. So we can put this earth in its rightful order, man. Okay. The air is polluted, the land's polluted, the food. All right. It was never like this back in the day when our ancestors, our foremothers and forefathers once run this world, man. All right. So we have to get back to that point where we once were. All right. Is there more on that?
But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy.
He says, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. Okay. Now we know how the first time this world was destroyed was with the flood. Okay. But this time he's bringing that heat, man. All right. That's the Most High God. All right. Now let me get Acts. All right. Chapter 1. All right. Chapter 1. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, you can start with number 20. Was that 20? Come on. No, it's a lot. Let me go to Haggai, chapter 2, verse 1. All right. Here we go to Haggai instead.
The book of Haggai, chapter 2, and verse 1. In the 7th month, in the 1 and 20th day of the month, came the word of the Most High by the prophet Haggai, saying,
Saying what?
Speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest.
The high priest, read on.
And to the residue of the people, saying,
Saying what?
Who is left among you that saw this house in her first glory? And how do you see it now? Is it not in your eyes in comparison of it as nothing? Yet now be strong, O Zerubbabel, say the Most High, and be strong, O Joshua, son of Josedek, the high priest, and be strong, all ye people of the land, say the Most High, and work. For I am with you, say the Most High of hosts. According to the word that have covenanted with you when you came out of Egypt. So my spirit remaineth among you. Fear ye not. For thus saith the Most High of hosts.
What he said?
Yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land. And I will shake all nations.
He do what?
And I will shake all nations.
He said he would shake all these nations, read.
And the desire of all nations shall come. And I will fill this house with glory, saying the Most High of hosts.
What verse you on?
Verse 7.
Okay, go on to verse 8.
Verse 8. The silver.
The what?
The silver.
It says the silver, read.
Is mine.
Is mine. Read on.
And the gold. Is mine.
And the gold is mine, read.
Say the Most High of hosts.
Say the Most High God, right? So it don't matter what you try to inherit or possess or what these nations possess in this world, everything belongs to the Most High. Because he created the heavens and the earth. You understand? We just inhabited the earth, okay? But we're trying to get back to our righteous rulership as a nation of people, man. All right? And get back those things that which belong to us. All right? Now let's go to Zechariah, chapter 13, and verse 9. All right?
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, and verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire.
And I will do what?
And I will bring the third part through the fire.
Say he will bring the third part through the fire. Read.
And I will refine them as silver.
As who?
As silver.
As silver, read.
Is refined.
As silver is refined, read.
And will try them as gold is tried.
And we'll try them as gold is tried. Okay? So we pretty much is like a similitude, okay, to the physical. Okay? Because we have to go through this walk as a nation of people, man. Let me get Sirach 2 and 1. Okay? We got to be refined as a nation of people, man. All right? So we can come back to who we once were. So we can come back as a great nation of people. Okay? All right? Read on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
My son, if thou come to serve the Most High,
If we come to serve the Most High, Yahawah, Yahawashi, read.
prepare thy soul for temptation.
We got to prepare ourselves for temptation, man. Okay, this world is full of it, man. Okay, you see it in the videos, you see it on the news, television. Okay, especially the young generation, man. Our people are enticed with the material things, man. Okay, we like to covet where everybody else got, man. Oh, that's a nice car he got. That's a nice house. You understand? We can't do that, man. Okay, we have to live our own lives according to the will of the Most High God. Not according to what society says it is, or what society says what success is. Okay. All right.
I just wanted to add to that.
Okay, go ahead.
That temptation, you know, it comes in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
You know, the temptation that we read about in the scriptures is very plain. It's very black and white. It's very specific. But the scriptures say we have to prove ourselves and see what is evil for our own lives. So we got to see specifically what is temptation for us. You know, what do we find that's hard specifically in our lives that's straying us away from the Most High.
Right.
Let me get Proverbs 24:16.
24. Yeah.
Right, because we fall short sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being in this walk, we know the solution to get back on track.
Okay.
But even with the amount of faith, the amount of wisdom we have, we still fall short. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse 16.
Right.
For a just man falleth 7 times.
Read that again.
For a just man falleth 7 times.
So it says a just man. Right? What does it mean to be just? What does it mean to be just? You got to define that word, just.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to be just?
It means to like be found not guilty in your actions. So like if you do something, you're justified for it. Like it was a just cause. It wasn't something that was out of spite or in a malice intent. So like say for instance, if you murder somebody, you'll be justified if you're found in self-defense.
Okay, so that's a good point. What would justify you being right in that situation, though?
The law, according to the law.
And what verse can we say that in? Let's get that.
I didn't even know where just was in there.
Fear?
Yeah. Romans chapter 7 and verse 12.
Right.
It says, wherefore the law.
Wherefore the what?
The law.
Right.
Is holy. And the commandment holy.
Right.
And just.
And what?
And just.
So the law and the commandment is just. Right. Keep reading.
And good.
Right.
Yeah.
And good. So let's go back. Let's read that Proverbs again. So we understand that in order to be justified for our actions, we have to adhere to the law, because that's what's just in the eyes of the Most High. All right.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse 16.
Right.
For a just man falleth 7 times.
So a just man, even though we know the truth, we keep the Most High's commandments, right? We still fall. We fall as much as 7 times. We probably fall more than that.
Right.
Right.
And rises up again.
It does what?
And rises up again.
Right.
But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
So the wicked shall fall into mischief. That's someone who's not keeping the Most High God's commandments. Right. If you get Baruch 4:28, as us as knowing the truth, understanding that we have to be obedient to the Most High, even though temptation is going to come. Right. We have the ability to turn back to the Most High. Right? We have the ability to get back to good graces by keeping His commandments. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 28.
Right.
For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Seek him 10 times more. So when we do fall, when we get back to, when we repent of that, right? When we get back to, that good standing with the Most High, now we got to go 10 times harder for him.
Yeah.
Right? We got to go through them scripts twice or 3 times a day instead of 1 time a day. One time a day. Right? We gotta pray a little harder today than we did yesterday.
Right.
You know? Right? Because the wicked, they gonna fall and then they're gonna stay in their wickedness. Right? They don't see no benefit in reconciling with the Most High. They just stay stuck in their wickedness. But as us being the children of the Most High, having the obligation to keep the commandments, right? We have to seek him 10 times more after we fall.
Yeah.
Right? So,
you go back to Sirach 21. Oh, you got something?
Daniel 12:10. Because especially now, for some of us who are at jobs, we got to get tempted by all these Christmas parties that's about to come up.
Right.
All these Christmas cupcakes and cookies that they be having happening in the office.
Yo, that's the spirit, man.
You know, and they be trying to, yo, come to the Christmas party. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a movie.
Right? It's a movie, right? You got they got the what's the thing that hangs on the ceiling?
The mistletoe?
Yeah, they got the mistletoe in the office.
Oh, that's foolish.
Right? And they look like you gotta watch out for that thing. They looking,
You gotta watch it.
right?
Oh man.
Go ahead, you go.
Yo, but that's the spirit, man. Because was it yesterday? At my job, they had a little gathering for a so-called Christmas party, man. They're in a break room. And I'm on my lunch, and everybody's looking at me crazy because I bought something. And everybody's looking like, why'd you buy that? I'm sure what they have here is better than what you bought. I was like, I'm not into what y'all got going on. They got the tablecloth red, and they got the decorations of Christmas with the red and green. Everybody eating the ham and all that stuff. I'm just sitting there on my phone, listening to whatever I'm going on. And I'm just eating what I bought. I didn't want to participate in what they got going on. So you know what I'm saying? That's how you show that difference between what the world is going on and what the Most High got going on. So you got to show yourself different from everybody else. You can't do what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? So calm. All right. Let me get back to Sirach. Oh yeah, Daniel. Yeah. So, you said Daniel 12? 12 and 10. It's windy today. The book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand.
Right. So as us knowing the wisdom of the Most High, knowing that we have to keep the Most High's commandments, you know, the scriptures telling us if we want to serve the Most High, we're going to be tempted.
Yeah.
We're going to get tried.
Oh yeah.
Right? Someone's going to try us. Right. But we know that what's that scripture? Us that be with us, he that be with us is better than.
Oh, First Kings 16 or 2 Kings 16?
Yeah. I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But yeah, we have to understand that the power that we serve is greater than any wickedness that or any trial that people try to send towards us. Right? The Most High.
Yeah, I got it.
The Most High is faithful to reward us for us standing up to those trials.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, read that.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 16. And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us,
the Most High is with us, right?
God,
right? Keep reading.
Are more than they that be with them.
Right. So whatever they got that they try to put against us is no comparison to the power that we serve.
Right.
Right. We gotta always remember that. Right. Even though it may look crazy, like the cat was saying, you know, they looking at them crazy for not participating.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's weak in the faith might just fall into that and be like, all right, bro, I'll just take a piece of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but when you have that strength in the Most High, you know, now you become that wisdom in the side of the nations, like the scripture talk about. Right? Because the Most High chose us. The Most High chose us to be. He chose us to wake up to the truth. Right? We could have been. We could have had we could have been the 2/3 putting that Christmas tree in our houses, you know, decking the halls, you know, saying happy birthday, Jesus, right? But he chose us to be that 1/3, and that's that 1/3. That's Zechariah. You can go back to that Zechariah. You can go back to that Zechariah 13:8.
Okay.
All right.
Can.
Now we're gonna be tried as being the chosen that he chose to wake up.
Can. Right? The book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Right. So 2 parts. Right now, they got their lights hung up on their houses.
Right.
They got Santa Claus outside. You know, probably deflated right now until night come up and nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they got their Christmas wrap ready to wrap all the gifts. Right. You know, they going broke. They going into debt trying to get these gifts. Right. Right. Big debt for what? Right. For celebrating a pagan holiday. Right. Go ahead, keep reading.
So, and it should come to pass that in all the land, saith the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein.
Right. So the 3rd, which is us, who's keeping the Most High's commandments, who's aware that this is a pagan holiday. Right. Right. We still here. They're leading to themselves towards destruction. Right. Right. But we live in our lifestyle to ultimately be saved in these last days. Right? Yeah. Keep reading.
And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire.
Right.
And will refine them as silver is refined.
Right. So the Most High is going to put us through that fire.
Okay.
Right. Even on social media, we're going to see the people who used to deal with in the world, you know, turning up for Christmas. And it might look enticing. Yeah. It might look like, hey, they having so much fun. Right? But then we have fun at our Hanukkah. Yeah. Where we lit at our Hanukkah. Right? So we have the same type of fun that they do. We just don't sin. Like big Captain. Right? Right? So that's what we have to keep in mind. That these trials gonna come. You know, people's gonna be texting us on Merry Christmas. Oh yeah. Right? They see us with our fringes on. They see us with our Zeeks. They see we gonna be at work on Fridays and Saturdays. Yet they still have the nerve to text us Merry Christmas. Right? As if they just don't see that we walking different. Exactly. Right? Yeah.
All right. All right, let me go back to us, all right. 2:1. So we're going on that refining, and we'll read on down to verse 5.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High,
it said, we come to serve Yahawah, read.
Prepare thy soul for temptation.
And we have to prepare our souls for temptation, man. Read.
Set thy heart aright.
It says, set your mind in the right path, read.
And constantly endure.
We have to endure to the end, man. Okay, a lot of people talk about these saved and all that stuff. Saved from what? The destruction hasn't happened yet. What do you save from? You understand? Read on.
And make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him.
It says, cleave unto him, cleave unto the Most High, read.
And depart not away.
And depart not away.
That thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee.
It said, whatever they have is to you, read.
Take cheerfully.
We got to take that thing cheerfully, read.
And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
And when we are changed to a low estate, man. Read.
For gold.
For what?
For gold.
It says for gold, read.
It's tried in the fire.
It's tried in the fire, read.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So we have to go through trials and tribulations as a nation, man. Okay, there's no cakewalk into the kingdom. Okay. We're not gonna hop and skip and hold hands. All right. Okay, the destruction hasn't happened yet to this place. All right. Okay, these other nations, they live here in America. This is their queendom, man. Oh, I ain't gonna say kingdom, but this is their queendom. All right. But we trying to get to ours. All right, but we got to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. Okay, all right. Let me get to Malachi 3:3. It's a short verse dealing with the Levites or refining. All right. Malachi 3 verse 3.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver.
Purifier of silver, read.
And he shall purify the sons of Levi.
The sons of who?
The sons of Levi.
He says, "Shall purify the sons of Levi," read.
And purge them as gold and silver.
And he said, "Purge them as gold and silver."
That they may offer unto the Most High an offering in righteousness.
An offering in righteousness, man. Okay? Because we didn't went over righteousness, Deuteronomy 6 and 25. All right? Now let me get Matthew chapter 16. We're gonna read verse 26 to 27. All right?
The book of Matthew, chapter 16, and verse 26. For what is a man profited? For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world?
He should gain his whole world, read.
And lose his soul.
And lose his soul. Okay? A lot of people don't really think about the afterlife, so to speak. Okay? In this society, everything is about getting a bag. All right? Riches. Okay? How many houses you got? How many cars you can acquire? Okay? That's not what the Most High is about, man. All right? Like I said, your possessions, you can't take that with you, man. All right? Because I remember a long time ago, I can't remember who it was. It was a while back. I was in the world. I don't know if it was true or not. This guy, I don't know if he was a musician or a rapper, and he had a car. And I think they heard they said something like they buried him with the car or something like that. I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this, man? You can't take that with you, man. Okay, the Most High is looking at your spirit, man. He ain't gonna take the whole car. He ain't gonna take money or clothes and possessions. That can't go with you, man. Okay? All right? So the flesh profited nothing. Okay, it's all about your spirit, man. All right? A lot of people gotta realize that, man. All right, let me get let me see here. Let me get Revelation. Okay, let me get Revelations 2 verse 25. All right? Because we can't take none of this stuff with us, man. I'm sure you got a favorite car, a favorite pair of shoes, money stashed in the bank, buried in the backyard, but we can't take those things with us, man. You know?
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh,
It said, "He that overcometh the trials and tribulations," read.
And keepeth my words.
And we got to keep the words that was given to us as a nation, read.
Unto the end.
Unto the who?
Unto the end.
Say, unto the end, read.
To him will I give power over the nations.
And he's going to give us power over the nations, man. Everything that we lost through generations, our possessions, okay, we're going to gain that back, all right? A lot of people are trying to acquire it now because they're here in this society, okay? They think they're doing something. You're not really doing anything, man. You gather riches, but you're still in captivity. What kind of system that is? You know what I mean? You got a house here, vacation home, summer home, all right? You can't take none of that thing with you, man, all right? You went out to 27?
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Now we're going to rule these nations with a rod of iron, man. Okay? All right? We went through the trials and tribulations. Why not return to favor? Thus saith the Most High God. Okay? That's what it says in Thessalonians. It's a righteous thing. All right? To recompense tribulation to them that trouble us. All right? You know?
As the vessels of a potter, shall they be broken to shivers.
Shall they be broken to shivers. All right? Thus saith the Most High God. All right? Now let me get let's see here. Okay, you read Revelations 3 and 5? You read that one already, right? Yeah, I think you read that one already, if I'm not mistaken. All right. You read that one.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment.
It says, he that overcometh shall be clothed in white raiment. Now, if we end this truth, I think that should be the most thing as a nation, as the children of Israel, we should be looking for, man. Not for the things here on this earth, okay? All that stuff could be just disintegrate, okay? We can't take that stuff with us, you know?
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life.
And you will not blot your name out of the book of life. Okay, thus said against the Most High God. All right. Now let me get it's a lot. Let me get Luke 18. Luke chapter 18, verses 14.
The book of Luke, chapter 18, and verse 14. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased.
It said everyone that exalted themselves should be abased. Okay, just because you see these movie stars and they glitz and they glamour, okay, walking the red carpet, okay, they're gonna be abased. Okay, the table's gonna have to turn. Okay, we can't just admire them because of their riches. Okay, you weren't about their lives, but you got your own life to live. You understand? All right, read on.
And he that humbleth himself,
and he said, he that humbleth himself, okay, read,
shall be exalted.
Shall be exalted. We should be lifted up. Read.
And they brought unto him also infants, that he would touch them. But when his disciples saw it, they rebuked them.
They did what?
They rebuked them.
They rebuked and they corrected them. Read.
But Yahawah called them unto him, and said, suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not.
Forbid them not. Read.
For of such is the kingdom of the Most High. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of the Most High as a little child, shall in no wise enter therein.
Shall no wise enter therein.
And a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
And a certain ruler asked him, what shall I do to eternal life, to get the kingdom? Read.
And Yahawah said unto him,
what did he say?
Why callest thou me good? None is good save one.
Save one.
That is the Most High.
That is the Most High. So why, it's like, you guys know, why are you giving me credit? I'm not good, but the Creator. Read on.
Thou knowest the commandments, do not commit adultery. Do not kill.
Do not kill. Or you can say, do not murder. Read.
Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother.
So this is like a mini 10 Commandments, okay, in the New Testament. Read.
And he said, all these have I kept from my youth up. Now when Yahawah heard these things, he said unto him,
what did he say?
Yet lackest thou one thing.
What's this one thing that you lack? Okay, you got everything else down packed, but this is one thing. Read.
Sell all that thou hast.
Do what?
Sell all that thou hast.
It says sell all that thou hast. Now, if you ask any of these celebrities, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z and Kanye West to sell all that they have, they're gonna look at you crazy, man. All right? You think they're gonna trade in their wealth, okay, for this word? A lot of people know their truth. They know who they are, but they're not gonna switch. Okay, they're not gonna switch the riches that they have in this world for this word. Okay? Read on.
And distribute unto the poor.
He said, and distribute it, man. Just give it out to the poor, man. Okay? God, what you got?
Joel chapter 20, verse 4 to 7.
Joel 20, 47. Yeah.
Joel chapter 20, verse 4 to 7.
Oh, 4 to 7? Yeah.
The book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4.
Yeah.
Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment?
It says only but for a moment, man. Read.
Thou his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung.
Wow, he should perish for his own dung, man.
They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
Say, where is he? Okay, where is this person? Read. That was it? Okay, come on. Okay, because I heard that one before. It was on the YouTube video. We go back to Luke 14.
The book of Luke, chapter 18, and verse 22. Now when Yahawah heard these things, he said unto him,
what did he say?
Yet lackest thou one thing.
He said, you lack this one thing, man. Read.
Sell all that thou hast.
He said, sell everything that you had, all your possessions, okay? Sell it all, man. Read.
And distribute unto the poor.
And give it out to the poor, right? You think these celebrities going to do that in this nation, man? All right? A lot of people base their success or they live vicariously through other people. You know what I'm saying? For their possessions. Read.
And thou shalt have treasure in heaven.
And you will have treasure in heaven, man. Okay, that's the treasure that we should be seeking for as a nation of people. All right? Because none of this stuff, like I said, we can't take it with us. All right? Is that verse 25? All right, read on down.
And come and follow me.
All right. He said, come and follow Yahawah. Read.
And when he heard this, he was very sorrowful.
He was very sorrowful. Man. He got sad. Man, I got to give this up. Okay, I got to give up this crib, this Bentley. Okay, $1,000 suit, the gator shoes. All right. Read.
For he was very rich.
For he was very rich, man. Okay, he had the bag. All right. Read.
And when Yahawah saw that he was very sorrowful, he said, how hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of the Most High?
He said, man, he said, how hardly shall they that have riches into the kingdom of the Most High? Okay, you can't have it both ways. Okay, you can't have the riches on this earth and then the riches of the kingdom of heaven. Where's the balance, man? Okay, where's the turning of the tables? Read on.
For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye.
He said, for it's easy for a camel to go through the needle's eye. Read.
Than for a rich man.
Than for who?
Than for a rich man.
He said, than for a rich man, read.
To enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of the Most High God, man. All right. Let me get Sirach, chapter 9. Yeah, Sirach 9. Oh, you know what? No, actually go to James, chapter 5. We're going to read 1 through 3. Strong today.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men.
He said, go to now, you rich man. Read.
Weep and howl for your miseries.
He said, what?
Weep and howl for your miseries.
He says, weep and howl for your miseries. Read.
That shall come upon you.
That shall come upon you. Read.
Your riches are corrupt. Your riches.
He says, your riches, read.
Are corrupted.
Are what?
Are corrupted.
It's corrupted, man. Okay, the white man's face is on the currency, man, on the green, the fatty. All right, it's not us. Okay, read.
And your garments are moth eaten.
He said, "On your garments are moth eaten." Right.
Your gold and silver is cankered.
He said, "Your gold and your silver is cankered, man. It's of no use." Read.
And the rust of them shall be a witness.
Read on.
Against you.
He said, the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Wow. Read on.
And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
He said, you have heaped treasures together for the last days. I think that's going to happen for real.
That's the trust fund.
Yo, that's the trip, man. The scriptures is real, man. A lot of people going to be like that in the last days, man. They're going to be like hugging on their possessions. All right. Trying to hold on to something, man. But you can't take it with you, man. Thus said the Most High God. Read on.
Behold, the hire of the laborers have heaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud.
By fraud, read.
Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Most High of Sabaoth.
All right. I like that verse. All right. Let me get a Sirach, chapter 9. And we're going to read 11 through 12.
The book of Sirach, chapter 9, and verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner.
And that's what we're supposed to do as nation of people, man. Okay? A lot of people got, growing up, watching movies, watching music videos, and we envy these people, man. Okay? Especially the youth. They get the youth easy, man. Okay? A lot of people out there trying to hustle and get this bread the wrong way, right? So you can try to compete with your favorite celebrity, okay? Your favorite movie star, all right? We can't envy these people. Read on.
For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
And you don't even know what the end thereof, man. Y'all just see it for face value. Okay, y'all don't see behind the scenes. How did he get those riches? Okay, how did he acquire that? Okay, he had to do a lot of blood sacrifices. Okay, all right. Like the situation they're talking about with Kanye and his mom, or he sacrificed his mom and all that stuff. It's crazy out here, man. Okay, read on.
Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
It said, delight not in the thing which the ungodly have pleasure in, man. Okay, we can't do what they do. All right. They're of this world. Okay, we can't revert back to that. All right, read.
But remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave.
He said, but remember this: they shall not go unpunished unto the grave. You understand? So we can't envy these people for their riches, for whatever they have in their possessions. Okay, we got better things waiting on us. Thus say the Most High God. All right. Let me get Sirach 31 and verse 1. We're gonna read down to verse, let's see here, verse 13.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 13. Remember that a
so 31 and 1, slide.
31 and 1, slide.
And we're gonna read down to 13.
Okay, come. Watching for riches.
You know what?
Watching for
It
riches.
says, watching for riches, read.
Consumeth the flesh.
Consumeth the flesh, man. Okay, we got a lot of these, it's twofold. It could be these people, these other nations, the CEOs, watching for riches. Like that one incident that dude went online and fired everybody in his, that was working with him. He was the CEO of this company. He fired everybody online instead of telling them face to face. That's crazy, man. Okay, that's more money in his pockets, man, because he watching for riches. And the same thing that goes for our people too. Okay, we got the hustlers, we got the drug dealers hanging out in the street corners. They watching for riches, man. Okay, selling drugs. Okay, buying drugs from their own kind, man. You heard your own peoples, man. All right, read on.
And the care thereof driveth away sleep.
He said, and the care thereof driving away sleep, man. He's like, man, that's all I can think about is this bread. Get this bag. Okay, I don't got time to sleep. Sleep is for the weak and all this foolishness. All right, read on.
Watching care would not let a man slumber.
He said, not let a man slumber. Read.
As a sore disease breaketh sleep.
He said, as a sore disease that breaketh sleep. Read. Verse 3.
The rich have great labor in gathering riches together.
Oh yeah, they do. Most definitely, man. Especially this society, man. They know how to get that bread together, man. Okay, they know the ins and outs of this society, right? This economic system. Read.
And when he rested, he is filled with his delicates.
And when he rests, when he lays head at night, man, he's like, man, I'm filled with delicacy, man. Okay, look at the car down outside. All right, look at the Bentley that's in the garage, the Ferrari that's outside. All right, the furniture. Okay, the diamonds, the gold, the watches. All right, read.
The poor laboreth in his poor estate.
He said, the poor laboreth in his poor estate. Okay, we're not equal in this society, man. All right. Read.
And when he leaveth off, he is still needy.
And when he leaveth off, he's still needy. Okay? Because he's in want, in need. Read.
He that loveth gold shall not be justified.
It says, he that loveth gold will not be justified. Read.
And he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold has been the ruin of many.
It says, gold has been the ruin of many. Okay, read.
And their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it.
It says, it is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, man. Okay? It's like you blindfolded somebody and you put like a block in front of them and say, go ahead and walk this way. You watch them stumble. All right, read on.
And every fool shall be taken therewith.
They're going to fall for it. Read.
Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish.
It says, blessed is the rich that is found without blemish or any marks. Read.
And have not gone after gold.
And not have gone after gold. Like Solomon. Solomon could have asked for riches, okay, but he asked for wisdom. You understand? And the Most High gave him riches on top of that anyway. All right? Read on.
Who is he? And we will call him blessed.
It said, who is he? It's a question. Who is he? We will call him blessed. Read.
For wonderful things shall he done among his people. Who have been tried thereby and found perfect. Let him glory.
Then let him glory in that thing. Read.
Who might offend and have not offended, or done evil and have not done it.
All right.
His good shall be established, and the congregation shall declare his alms. For if thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it.
It said, be not greedy upon it, man. Okay? Don't be in excess of wanting anything. Read.
And say not, there is much meat on it.
There's much meat on it. Read.
Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing.
Right. So remember that the evil is a wicked, man. You have an evil eye. All right, read.
And what is created more wicked than an eye?
Right?
Therefore, it weepeth upon every occasion.
And they weep upon every occasion. Okay? Right? Because a lot of these celebrities, it's like what you see online, they put this front, like everything's okay. But behind closed doors, they're crying out. You know what I'm saying? Because they think the wealth and the riches is going to suffice them. But they're missing something, man. All right? And you see that a lot of these celebrities going crazy, man. All right? Crying and stuff, and, trying to seek help from definitely not the scriptures, okay? They confide in their friends, their homeboys, other celebrities, okay?
Like Michael Jackson, he used to take drugs and anesthesia for sleep.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They always got issues, man. No matter how much bread you have, you always got issues like spiritually, man. Okay, and physically.
I think Akon had made a comment saying that people who have more, like rich people go through more stuff than I guess poor people. So
Yeah.
because they deal with them spirits, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. It's a lot of pressure, man. Okay, in this society, man. All right. So let's see here. What I got here. Let's see. All right. Let me get 1 Timothy chapter 6. Yeah, chapter 6, verse 7 through 12. Let's see here. Ken.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6, and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
For we brought nothing into this world.
They said we brought nothing into this world. When we was born, okay, you wasn't born with with money coming out. You wasn't born with a Lexus or a Lamborghini truck. You wasn't born with these things, man. Read.
And it is certain we can carry nothing out.
And they said it is certain, it's for sure that you can't take nothing with you. All right. Okay, they're gonna put you 6 feet deep in the coffin. All right. Read.
And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
It said, and having food and raiment, just food and clothes on your back, be content with that. You know what I'm saying? Just be content with the simple things that you got. Okay, don't envy, these people and these Louis Vuitton and expensive purses and Hermes, and it's foolishness, man. $100,000 purse for what? You only gonna probably wear it like one time. All right, that's foolishness in this world, man. Read on.
But they that will be rich,
It said, they that be rich, read.
Fall into temptation,
And they fall into temptation, read.
and they snare,
And they what?
and they snare.
And they snare. You fall into a trap, man. It looks good, but there's a back into it, like these musicians, these rappers. It looks good the way they're living, but then you gotta watch your back, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's always after you. You gotta look behind you and see who's trying to steal your car, who's trying to rob you. Somebody's out to kill you. Okay, that's not the life I don't want to live that life. You gotta watch your back continually, man. That's crazy, man. Read on.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation, and they snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts.
It said foolish and hurtful lusts. Read.
Which drown men
Which do what?
Which drown
It said
men
which drown men. Read.
in destruction.
And what?
In destruction.
And destruction. Read.
And perdition.
And perdition. Read on.
For the love of money
It said for the love of money. Read.
is the root of all evil.
Is the root of all evil. You can do good with bread. I mean, you can help your people, look out for your nation. Okay. But in this society, they do wicked stuff, man. All right. Buying stuff that's unnecessary. Okay. Read.
Which while some coveted after,
A lot of people covet after that bread, man. They try to hold dear onto it. Read.
they have erred from the faith.
And they have erred from the faith. Okay. A lot of these celebrities, like I said, they speak that good game. All right. I'm Hebrew, I'm this. They got the shirt on and everything, but they're not out in the highways and byways like us. When that's gonna happen? When that's gonna take place? All right. Read on.
And pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
And they pierce themselves through with many sorrows, man. They're going through trials and tribulations, man. All right. Like I said, the money can't save you. Read.
But thou, O man of Yahawah, flee these things.
He said, do what?
Flee these
He
things.
says, flee these things, man. Run away from it. Read.
And follow after righteousness.
And do what?
And follow after righteousness. Godliness.
Godliness. Read.
Faith.
Faith.
Love.
Love.
Patience.
Patience.
Meekness.
Meekness.
Fight the good fight of faith.
And we had to fight the good fight, man. Okay, read.
Lay hold on eternal life,
Uh-huh.
whereunto thou art also called,
He said we are called for that. This is what we're made for. Read.
and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me get Isaiah 52. And I think that's verse 3, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah 52. God.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 52, and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For thus say the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
ye have sold yourselves for naught,
And we have sold ourselves for nothing, man. Read.
and ye shall be redeemed without money.
And we're gonna be redeemed without money. Okay? And once some chariots show up in the sky, what you gonna do? You gonna try to hold on to the Benjamins, man? All right? You can't take that with you. The Most High is gonna like beam you up. That's if you're chosen. Okay, if you follow the law, statutes, commandments, all right, you can't take that with you. All right. So I think what I was looking for. Let me see. Let me go back to Acts. There was a scripture I was looking for. Okay, no, it's not there. There's something I was looking for specifically. It's not there. Let's see. No, it's not there. Yeah, it's the one where you're talking about you trying to buy with money or something like that. I wrote it down, but I don't see it. Okay. Oh, let me see. Eventually it'll come back to me. All right, let me get, let's see here. Let me get Matthew, chapter 22. The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?
He said, is it lawful to give tribute? All right, right?
For Yahawah perceived their wickedness.
And he did what?
He perceived their wickedness.
He perceived it. You know, peak game. Right?
And said,
What did he say?
why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites?
He said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? You know?
Shew me the tribute money.
He said, show me what you got. Show me this coin that you got. Right?
And they brought unto him a penny.
Uh-huh.
And he saith unto them,
What did he say?
whose is this image and superscription?
He said, who's this man on this coin and the superscription? Read.
They say unto him,
Uh-huh.
Caesar's.
Who?
Caesar's.
Caesar's. Read.
Then said he unto them,
Uh-huh.
he rendered therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's,
Uh-huh.
and unto the Most High the things that are the Most High.
He said, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar. Render the things that belong to him, but the things of the Most High, render unto the Most High. Can. Okay. All right, let me end it off with the book of Matthew. Chapter 6. Verse 19 through 21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth.
It says, lay not yourselves the things of this world upon earth. You can't keep these things. You know what I'm saying? Your crib, your car, okay, your jewelry, your 401k, okay, your gold bars. I don't know if we own that stuff. All right, read on.
Where moth and rust doeth corrupt.
You say where moth and rust doeth corrupt. Those things are going to corrupt. You understand? Read.
And where thieves
And where who?
And where
You
thieves
say, and where thieves, read,
break through and steal.
break through and steal. Anybody could break through your house and steal your possessions. All right, read on.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
It said, but lay up yourselves treasures in heaven. Read.
And where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt.
It said, neither moth or rust corrupt. It's not going to corrupt in the kingdom of heaven. Read.
And their thieves do not break through nor steal.
And there's not going to be no thieves in the kingdom. Read.
For where your treasure
It
is,
said, for where your treasure is, read.
there where your heart be also.
It said, there where your heart be also, man. All right. So, all praise to the Most High for this mini class. All right. like I said, the topic is your money can't save you. So we have to look for the things that's not of this world, but of the Most High God. So all praises to the Most High God, man, for this class. Come on. Come.
Amon Bonoya Bonyasha.
Ahad ban Banyaya ban Yasharala.
Ahad Bun Lawyer Bun Yasharala. Abana Yahawah Shim Yasharala.
Abanaya Basan Shaksa.
Number one, Baloya Banya Sharala.
Yahawah Shim Yasharala.
Yahawah Shim Yasharala. Huh.
Yes, I'm about it.
We start off. Let me start from 47, right?
Yeah, 48 and 48 and 27.
Okay, so you got it.
No, it's 48 and
I see it.
what is that?
47.
47 and 20.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All praises be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for surely his mercy endureth forever. We're about to go into today's portion. Today's portion is Genesis chapter 47, verse 28, to Genesis chapter 50 and verse 26. Genesis chapter 47 to Genesis chapter 50 and verse 26. It's not a long portion, but it has a lot of information. So we're going to try our best to cover as much information as possible. Let's open up with the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17.
Book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed,
Right.
do all in the name of the other one Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Elohim and the Abba by him.
And we always open up with the scripture every Shabbat. Because everything we say, everything we do, we got to consider the Most High God and Yahawashi, who died and gave us an example in the blueprint. He gave us the blueprints, not the blueprints, the blueprints. So we could follow his example and be perfect in the eyes of the Most High God. This Torah portion is very important for us as a people. Because what does Torah mean? Does anybody know what Torah means? You mean Ezra 7 and 10. What does it mean? Torah. It means instruction. It means law in the Hebrew. This law was to help us govern ourselves. Pass me that, Bakusha. That's what helps us govern ourselves upon the face of the earth. Because when you look at our people as a nation, how do we conduct ourselves? We conduct ourselves like animals upon the face of the earth. We eat whatever we want to eat. We do whatever we want to do. We say whatever come out of our mouth as if it's justified. And that's how animals live. The Most High didn't create us to live like blue beasts. He created us to live and be walking spirit or walking living soul upon the face of the earth, to be his chosen people, the people that's nigh unto him. There's no nation that's closer to the Most High than the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead and get that for me.
The book of Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 10.
Read.
For Ezra has prepared his heart.
We come in to do what? We prepare our minds. You didn't come in here because you're looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend. You didn't come in here so you could try to get off get a record label deal. You came here to receive the law of the Most High God, to correct and fix you. Because we're people that's sick, and we're trying to get the vaccine, the spiritual vaccine. And the law is that vaccine. Read.
To seek the law of the Lord.
We come here to do what? To seek the laws of the Most High God. To seek instruction, to seek wisdom. Because a lot of people on the earth don't have wisdom. You could tell by, for those of you that was with us week 1 out here, they're shooting at the house across the street. That's lacking wisdom. When you hear the conversations that our people have, right, in your daily travels, you can see there's no instruction. There's no wisdom. The law of the Most High governs everything we do upon the face of the earth. It has dominion over your life. It's here to make you better. Give me Romans 7 and 1. It's here to make you better. A lot of people say that the laws of the Most High God done away with. Where is that in the Bible? They try to twist and spin And you ever seen that game with the with circles with the colors on the floor?
Twister?
Twister. They try to play Twister with the word of the Most High God. But you will never see the Most High say you don't got to keep the law. He never gave any man an excuse to break the law. You will not see no one example in the scripture where the Most High told a prophet like Ezekiel or Daniel, it's okay, go eat things sacrificed to idols. Go eat pork. Go sniff up some cocaine after the new moon. The Most High never gave us a license to break the commandments. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Read.
Know ye not,
Don't you understand this? Read.
brethren,
Read.
for I speak to them that know the law.
Don't we know the law? Don't we know the law is what introduces you to the Most High?
Right.
It's only telling you the likes and dislikes of the Heavenly Father. Read.
How that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
What does the word dominion mean? Maybe it's because you're farther. Hallelujah. Try that one.
Come.
What does the word dominion mean? Somebody look that word dominion. Look that word dominion up for me. What does dominion mean? Direct. Let's try to get an accurate definition. Let's try to get an accurate definition if possible. You got it? Go ahead.
Sovereignty or control.
Have what?
Sovereignty or control.
Now, a lot of our people, what do they say? You can't control me. I'm my own boss. I'm my own. I believe in I, me, and myself. But I, me, myself, be locked up in a prison cell. Who's gonna save you? I, me, myself.
Right.
The law has control. Read that again for me. Romans 7:1.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Read.
Know ye not,
Right.
brethren,
Read.
for I speak to them that know the law,
Which knows the laws. Read.
how that the law hath dominion over a man
It has control over you, man and woman. Read.
as long as he liveth.
As long as you have life in you, the law has control over you. There's never a break in your life where you don't have to keep the laws of the Most High God. There's no break. A lot of times people try to twist scriptures and say the Most High winked in your ignorance, meaning he didn't count that against you. That's not in scriptures. That's not in Torah. The Most High did count that against you. He just had mercy. That's why he put you to death right away.
Right.
That's what the Most High did. When David committed adultery, the Most High forgave him, but still killed that child and made him suffer for it. That's the power we serve. This is why it's very important that we keep the laws to the best of our ability. Scriptures tell us that in our Mark, keep it to the best of your ability with all your strength and force, because you're going to be held accountable to the things that you break in the eyes of the Most High God. Let me get 2 Ezra 9:37. 2 Ezra 9:37. That's the main problem with our people. Our people don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be told what they can and cannot do. And that's not biblical. And they're out of the same mouth, they'll say they love the Most High God. How do you love the Most High but don't do the things he asked you to do? You don't follow his instructions. You don't love the things he loves, hate the things he hates. Remember yesterday, who was asking the chunky Jesus, the white boy, right? Why ask? I asked him something about, does God love everybody? No. He asked me, he told me I'm racist. Or he said something of that nature. Or because I hate white people. I told him what's wrong. I only hate what God hates. And so happily he hates you. So wouldn't you hate you if God hated you? Read.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 37.
Read.
Notwithstanding,
Right?
the law perished not.
What does the scripture say?
The law perished not.
It doesn't perish. It's still here. When you was eating jerk pork, griot, pork chops, the law was still there saying you're not supposed to eat that.
Right.
Read.
But remaining in its force.
It still has the same force it had back in the days when it was first given. It still had the same strength when the foundations of the earth was being laid down. It still have it. Give me Sirach 5:1. You still have that. We just have to align ourselves back with the Most High God. We've been discontinuing from our heritage. Our heritage is the laws of the Most High God. That's what Sirach told us through the Spirit. When you're not keeping the laws, you're disconnected from your heritage. You're disconnected from your power, and you're disconnected from your strength. Go ahead. Start from Sirach chapter 5, verse 1. Is everybody at Sirach 5:1? Ecclesiasticus.
Go ahead.
The book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Read.
Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life.
Read.
Follow not thine own mind.
What does the
and
scripture say?
follow not thine own mind.
That's an issue, especially for us in those words. A lot of times we're really trying to keep the law, but once your feelings, in my feelings, get involved, that's when you stray away from the Most High God.
Right.
That's why the scriptures condemn you from leaning on your own heart. Your mind will trick you. Your heart will fool you. You may think you're doing something out of love, and it's actually contrary to the love the Most High prescribes for us. Read.
Follow not thine own mind.
Read.
And thy strength.
Read.
To walk in the ways of thy heart.
Don't walk after your heart, because the heart is what? It's deceitful above all things.
Read.
And say not,
Uh-huh.
who shall control me?
What do our people say?
Who shall control me?
Stop eating pork. What do they say?
Who shall control me?
Isn't that what our people say? Who should control me? N-word. N-word, please. Who should control me? Read.
For my works.
For my what?
For my works.
This is what our people say to us. When you tell them they have to keep the instruction, they have to come back to the Most High God. Read.
For Yahawah will surely revenge thy pride.
The Most High will avenge that pride soon. The Most High made something called thermonuclear fire for a reason. It wasn't made just for you to see it on Call of Duty. When you get 15 kill streaks, it was made to clean the wicked. That's what it was made for, to purify America. Because America is defiled with blood. Read.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me?
A lot of our people say this. I was eating grilled just yesterday.
Right.
Oh, your boy straight.
Right.
That's what our people say, right? Read.
For the Most High is long suffering.
The only thing is the Most High is long suffering. But the time is going to come when he won't be long suffering anymore. When he's going to require all the sin you cashed in. The Most High is going to need it back like your tax. He's going to need it back. You're going to have to pay for it soon. Read.
He will in no wise let thee go.
He's not going to let you go. That's why it's called Judgment Day. When Yahawah shall cast judgment upon the face of the earth. Everybody's going to be judging that time and hour. Even us. When that tribulation happened, Jacob's trouble happened, we're going to be tried for the things we've done. Read.
Verse 5. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
Don't have that spirit where I sinned yesterday, I'm straight. Let me add 3 more sins today. That's not the spirit that we should walk in. Read.
And say not, his mercy is great.
Say what?
His mercy is great.
A lot of times you see that in and out the truth. Right? A lot of our people falsely justify themselves and say, I could just repent. That's a wicked and evil spirit. Does the Most High rather you repent or rather you get it right the first time? He rather you get it right the first time and continue doing it right. The Most High prefer you to be perfect and blameless. Then you have to go and cry and ask for forgiveness for something you know you did wrong. Read.
Verse 6. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins.
What does it mean to be pacified? What does the word pacified mean? What does it mean? Like pampered? Pampered? It's like soothing, like abated, chill. The Most High is not gonna be chill when you kill somebody. He's not gonna be chill when you lighten up the blunt. Most High not gonna be chill for that. Really?
For mercy and wrath come from him.
Because that judgment don't come directly from him. Scripture say the Most High is known in his judgment. A lot of times when you do something wicked and let's say your car gets spin out of control, in the midst of that car spinning, you go, whoa, you're gonna know it's the Most High God who did that. You're gonna say, oh God, why did you do this? You won't know it's the Most High. Because in your wickedness, go ahead.
Also, when they say, the Most High be pacified for the sin, it's almost like they feel like he can't do nothing until they do a certain amount of sins. Almost. Because when you, like, say you pacify a baby, right, you kind of stop it from crying. So it's like the Most High, they trying to say that the Most High doesn't have the authority to judge them the first time. They at least got to break it. They at least got to sin 25,000 times before he do something. That's not how the Most High works. Because we seen people get put to death for committing a sin once, man. Right? When Aaron's sons burnt that strange incense, did they get a second time to do it? The Most High said, I'm burning y'all up right now.
The Egyptian
Right?
lust.
And then he told Aaron, I don't want to hear it. Imagine that. All right, so that's how the Most High work, man. But our people, we because we haven't really seen that judgment yet, that's why we ain't getting right yet. If the Most High would visit us in a dream and show us what Judgment Day would look like tomorrow, or next Shabbat, everybody would be here. Right? Everybody would be here.
Brothers would be fighting for that bench, right?
Exactly.
That was the case. But on the flip side, the Most High protect those that keep His commandments. Give me Psalm 34:7. We're gonna go right to the portion, because that brings me to what happened yesterday, right? On Captain Ahhad, when we was going back home with the car.
Oh yeah,
The car was hit us.
Yeah.
But the Most High had it that I noticed it speeding, and I looked at the light. I'm like, yo, it's our turn, but she's still going 100 miles per hour.
Right.
So I stopped, and she almost hit the next car. They stopped, and then she went around and kept going. So the Most High camped His angels around us because we left Him doing what? We left Him doing the work of the Most High.
Right.
So He camped His angels around us. Those that do His work. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. The angel.
The what?
The angel.
The angel, read.
Of Yahawah.
Read.
Encampeth round about them that fear Him.
The Most High camped His angels around those that fear Him. And this crazy thing, I didn't even have my seatbelt on too. I was writing extra Levitical last night. But the Most High encamped His angels around us, those that keep His word and His instruction. Let's go to the portion. Genesis 47.
So I'll do 47, 48, and 49.
All right, go.
All right, so just a little recap of what happened in the last portion. Basically, the brothers came. They seen Joseph was Lord over Egypt. He had a very great status within their nation. Yeah, he was able to send them back with some chariots and things to go gather Jacob, their father, and all his house come in. Total of 70 souls came into Egypt. They were placed over in the land of Goshen. Joseph made sure they were straight, had their provisions and everything like that. And now we're about to pick up to see kind of the interaction between Joseph and Jacob, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a 20-year period since Joseph was sold into slavery. So that's a long time not to see your child, man. Especially thinking that they were dead. It wasn't like he went off to college or something, right? So we're gonna pick up and just keep in mind that this is a powerful reuniting of father and son. And we're gonna get some scriptures on that showing how we should honor our parents in that way, man. Let's go, let's pick it up.
The book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 28.
Read.
And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years.
Right.
And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph and said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt.
Right.
But I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in the burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said.
Right.
And he said, swear unto me. And he swore unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head.
Right. So Jacob said, listen, when I pass away, man, don't let me stay in Egypt. Yeah. So Jacob, even our forefather, he wasn't like, you know what? These Egyptians were so nice to me. Just let me stay here. He's like, man, take me out of here. Bring me to the burying place that my forefather Abraham brought. Right. Barak Palah. Our forefather paid some money for that, man. That's our inheritance. And he wanted to be buried with his fathers. And that's the same way we gotta kind of want to go down in history just like our fathers did, man. We want to take on that long suffering that they did. We want to be able to say to our children, and I put in the work for the Most High. All right. We gotta be mentioned in that same company. Like Cap always bring out, man. You want to be able to touch shoulders with Yahawah in the kingdom. You just don't want to be regular schmegging in the kingdom. Why? Why not try to be called great in the kingdom of heaven, man? That's something that we should aspire to. All right. Read. Oh, you got precept, brother.
The book of Sirach, chapter 44, page 97 in Apocrypha, verse 1. Let us now praise famous men
and our fathers that beget us. Yahawah hath wrought great glory by them,
Right.
through his great power from the beginning.
From the what?
From the beginning.
Right. So our people have always been great. So you could imagine what we must have did, man, to really anger the Most High God, to bring us to such a lower state. But what does the scripture say about when you change to a lower state? What should we do? Take it cheerfully, but also do what? What should we cleave onto our own understanding? Right? Should we go follow the blunt? What should we do when we change to a lower state? Let me start right 2 and 1. Because you got to think about it, man. If the nations know who we are, but yet had no fear in their heart to put our people on those slave ships, man. I was watching the Django the other day, and one of the ways that they used to torture us was to put us in a hot box. I don't know if any of you brothers ever work warehouse jobs, but by the time you get to the back of that truck, you could barely breathe. So imagine being in the middle of Mississippi somewhere, rattlesnakes all crawling around, and you in this hot box, all type of spiders or whatever in there, man. And they keeping you in there for 24, 48, 72 hours, right? Giving you a little bit of water to drink, barely keeping you alive, man. That's the type of torture that we had to go through because we broke the commandments of the Most High God. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahawah, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him.
Do what?
Cleave unto him.
Right? So in time of trouble, man, we got to cleave unto the Most High God. That's exactly what Joseph did. How many of us would have been able to stand in the pain, getting sold into slavery, and then while in slavery, getting thrown into prison? Right? How much of us would have been able to stand in the pain? We probably would have been looking to join an Egyptian gang or something. Right? Joseph had a lot of faith, man, to go through what he went through, man. That's not an easy thing to go through. That's a real lower state. We talk about what our forefathers went through, but we never suffered to have, man. We really never suffered to have. The worst impoverished state that you could be in this life still doesn't amount to the horrors of living in slavery, man. Where at any moment you could be boiled in a tar pit, or your babies could be cut out of your stomach and fed to alligators, man. All right. So the Most High is our refuge, man. Because who else can we go to feel that type of comfort? You could go to the white man if you want to, but as soon as he's done with you, man, he's gonna throw you over the ship. All right. The only person that we can count on is the Most High God.
That's right.
Let's go back to the portion. Let's get another precept.
And I'm just gonna finish this verse.
Oh, okay, come.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right? And what is our faith? What is our end? To be increased, man. To be lords over this whole earth. To have all these heathens in subjugation. That's a wonderful thing to think about.
That's right.
All right? That's a wonderful thing to think about. Imagine you gonna be on top one day. Sometimes our brains can't even go there. We're thinking about how we gonna do this, man. What are we gonna say?
Yeah.
Right? What are we gonna say to them? But don't worry, the Most High gonna put it in our spirits, man, because we're gonna rule them with a rod of iron. The same way how we think about, man, you know what, if I commit this act, I know they're gonna throw me under the jail. They're gonna think the same way. They're gonna think twice before spilling Israelite blood again, man.
Get the bacon 4 for 4 in the kingdom.
Exactly, man. Let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 48, verse 1. Read. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick.
Read.
And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim.
Right.
And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself and sat upon the bed.
Right.
And Jacob said unto Joseph, Yahawah Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. And he said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and I will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine.
So Reuben and Simeon, what number of sons are they to Jacob? Simeon is second, right? So just like how Ephraim and Manasseh being the firstborn, right, is Joseph's firstborn, and then Ephraim is his secondborn, right? So Jacob is saying to Joseph, the same way how Reuben and Simeon are my first and secondborn, and they're your first and secondborn, but guess what? I'm going to redeem these two, right? And we're going to see why he said that. Keep reading.
And thy issue, which thou begettest after them,
Right.
shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance.
So he said, listen, all the children you get after this, right? Those will be yours. Let's see why he said that. Let me get 1 Chronicles 5:1.
Fine.
We get 1 Chronicles 5:1.
The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph.
What is the birthright of the firstborn son? What does he get? Go ahead. A what? A thought? Not so much. I thought you had it. I was about to say that.
I'm about to say.
Go ahead. But does he get all of the belongings? What about the other sons? He would get majority of them. I would agree with you. He would get majority. But what else also? What's an important responsibility passed down to the firstborn?
Well, he would be the leader of the house.
All right, he would be the leader of his people, right? Over that household, right? So he would basically be the leader over his brethren, so to speak, right? So let's keep reading.
He defiled his father's bed. His birthright was given to the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel.
Right.
And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright. For Judah prevailed above his brethren,
Right.
and of him came the chief ruler.
Right. Speaking of a Mashiach Yahawah, you could think of as David or Solomon. Read.
But the birthright was Joseph.
Right. So it said the birthright was Joseph. So now when we read down later in the chapter, you're going to see that Jacob gave the blessing that he would have gave to Reuben to who? Ephraim. So now we understand when the kingdom split, it wasn't by coincidence that Ephraim, right, was the head over the northern kingdom. That's because he was given that blessing by Jacob, right? But the Most High also anointed David to be what? King over all Israel. In the end, he was supposed to be king over all Israel. But obviously, we see the kingdom split. So therefore, you have the northern kingdom, you have the southern kingdom. So we see right here, right now, that either way, the Most High, right, can strip away your blessing, man, and give it to somebody else.
Right.
So with us as individuals, we can't count out. We got a guaranteed seat on the chariot, man. I don't care if you've been in the troop for 50 years. He could take that blessing away from you and give it to somebody who's been in there for 2 years. Man. Now you wonder all this work that you did because when the time came near, you decided to be prideful. You decided to think that you built all of this. All of these people in the congregation, as if it was something great that you did. So we always got to stay humble, man. All right? Because Reuben, he defiled his father's bed. He went and had sex. He went and had sex with his father's wife, man. All right? That was a wicked act. Now Reuben didn't get put to death, but he got that birthright taken away.
Just to add on to that, when the scripture says that the birthright will go on to Joseph, when you look at the map of ancient Israel, you'll see that the children of Joseph got majority of the land of Israel. East Manasseh, West Manasseh, and Ephraim, that's all the children of Joseph.
Right.
They have the majority of the territory in the land of Israel. So that also goes with that as well.
We go to this portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 48, verse 6. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine.
Right.
And shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. And as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan, either way, when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath, the same is Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom Yahawah has given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Yahawah has showed me also thy seed.
All right, so Jacob is giving reverence unto the Most High, giving praise unto the Most High. He didn't think he was going to see his son, let alone his grandchildren. Some of us, man, our grandparents die before they get to see us. Right? Some of us, our parents die before we get to see them, or vice versa. It's rare that you get to see your grandfather, your great grandfather. It's rare that we see those things, man. More so because sometimes our family structure is just so messed up, we just don't deal with each other. It's like we fail to understand that it's not normal for a family to be separated generation after generation. But we look at each other and say that that's just the way it is. But to see your grandchildren is a blessing, man. Right? To see your great-grandchildren is an even greater blessing. That the Most High preserved your life for you to just behold them with your eyes. We take for granted for that. A lot of us say, man, I want to travel the world and I want to see this and I want to see that. What about seeing your seeds grow, man? And continue to see the blessings that the Most High is pouring out upon them. That's all?
Yeah, get 3 John 1 and 2. And like the captain is saying, a lot of us in this word, we come back to our heritage and we see the finer things that the Most High have for us. We see the more important things in life. A lot of us, some of us that don't have children, some of us do have children. It's great that we're in this walk. It's great that we're doing the work of the Most High. It's great that we have the Hebrew. It's great that we're able to call on the name of the Most High. We're able to go to scriptures. But it's an even greater thing. But let's read that scripture. Go ahead and read that.
The book of 3 John, chapter 1 and verse 2.
Read.
Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health.
That's powerful to be healthy in this word, have no issues, because you're able to serve the Most High with 100% of your strength. Read.
Even as thy soul prospered. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee.
Read.
Even as thou walkest in the truth.
Read.
I have no greater joy.
This is greater. This is better. Read.
Than to hear.
To hear what?
That my children.
It's even better to hear that your children's children read.
Walk in the truth.
That's even better. To be able to see that your great-grandchildren is keeping Torah. That you're able to sit back in your house when you retire, because hopefully we all get to retire for the brothers. I'm not going to retire until I know my sons are out there in the block. That's when I retire. When you're able to be home and your children's out there teaching the word of the Most High God, your daughters is holding it down. When they come back home, they're able to show you the camp video for today. Your daughters are able to show you the sisters class or what they've got planning going on for the following week. That's a beautiful thing in the eyes of the Most High God. That lets you know one day when you're dead and gone, they're going to keep it going. Because one day you're going to have to come back. And you're going to come back in Torah because they kept it going. Go ahead. The book of Genesis, chapter 48 and verse 11. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Yahawah has showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand was upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hand wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn.
So even though Joseph was bringing forth his 2 sons, he had Ephraim in his right hand going towards Jacob's left hand, Manasseh in his left hand going to Jacob's right hand. But Jacob knew what he was supposed to do. So he knew that he basically did a switcheroo with his hand, right? Read.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And he blessed Joseph
Uh-huh.
and said, Yahawah, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil.
From all what?
All evil.
Read.
Bless the lads,
Uh-huh.
and let my name be named on them,
Uh-huh.
and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth.
Uh-huh.
And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him.
Right.
And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head.
Uh-huh.
And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head.
Right.
And his father refused and said, I know it, my son. I know it.
Right. Jacob knew what he was doing, man. He said, chill out, Joseph, I got this. Right. Read.
He also should become a people,
Uh-huh.
and he also should be great.
Right.
But truly,
Right.
his younger brother should be greater than he,
Uh-huh.
and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Right. And this is how you know, man, that the Most High was dealing with Jacob, because he's speaking in the spirit. How could he, especially when we go into the next chapter, but how could Jacob know all of these things? How could Abraham know all of these things? How could Isaac know all of these things? Right? Which other people from another nation would have all this prophecy and all this knowledge that came to pass, man? Right? That's to have a connection with the Most High God. We take that for granted, man. Right? Who cares if you know the CEO at Google? Who cares if you know Jay-Z? What can they really tell you? Other than how to sin and get away.
Dinner with Jay-Z or 500,000.
Exactly, right? The only thing Esau can do is try to tell you how to sin and try to get away. But he can't get away. Right? So he's just trying to bring you down with him, man. The connection with the Most High God is our heritage, man. We really got to start to embrace that. When you pray, believe that the Most High is hearing your prayers. Because he don't want to hear anything the heathens have to say, because they're not even really praying to him. When they say they praising Jesus, they praising white Jesus. They're not praising Hamashiach Yahawah, right? Because Hamashiach Yahawah looked at them and say, man, it's not good to give the dogs the children's bread. And then how they gonna feel? They're not gonna praise him no more, right? It's gonna be nothing but diss tracks for Hamashiach Yahawah after that, right? All right, read.
And thee shall Israel bless,
Uh-huh.
saying, Yahawah will make thee as Ephraim,
All right.
and as Manasseh.
Mm-hmm.
And he set Ephraim before Manasseh.
Read.
And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but Yahawah shall be with you,
All right.
and bring you again unto the land of your forefathers,
Uh-huh.
unto the land of your fathers.
All right.
Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brother, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
Right? So like Kat was bringing out earlier, Ephraim and Manasseh, they got majority of the land when we went over there. So they got that one portion above their brethren, right? And what they Manasseh grew into a great people. They have East and West Manasseh. That's how much they multiplied, man. Right? I don't know what Benjamin was doing because we got a little portion, but you know, we got a little plot, right? But we're gonna make it up in the kingdom. Don't worry. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next chapter. The book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 1.
Read.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together.
Now, Genesis 49 is a chapter of prophecy. Genesis 49 lets us know who is the children of Israel today. Where are they? Because one of the greatest mysteries upon the face of the earth is where's the lost tribes of God? Who are they? Where are they? In the book of Genesis chapter 49, the book of Deuteronomy 33, and Revelation 7, it gives you pinpoint locations, characteristics, attributes, and historical events that indicate who are the 12 tribes of Israel today. Because the Most High scattered us as a people, but he said this. Give me Psalms 50 and 5. Psalms 50 and 5. We're going to.
The book of Psalms, chapter 50, and verse 5.
Read.
Gather my saints together.
The Most High in these last days is commanding us to gather his saints together. Gather them. Read.
Unto me.
Unto whom?
Unto me.
Unto what?
Unto me.
Because you will see a lot of people saying that the 12 tribes chart is fake, that it's man-made, but it's actually in the Bible. No man in America had it. Ezekiel received the breakdown first, and then we received it. Read.
Those that have made a covenant with me by
So
sacrifice.
the Most High says to gather his saints together. Who are the saints of the Most High? Who's the saints of the Most High?
We just said it. Those I made a covenant with him.
And what is the precept? What's the precept? Let's get Psalms 148 and 14. Let's write that down. Psalms 148 and 14. So he said, gather my saints together. We're going over this chapter because you need to know how to gather the saints.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people.
Of his people, read.
The praise of all his saints.
All his saints, read.
Even
what?
Even.
When you go to the Hebrew, that word there is bin or a bun in the Lashon Kodash, meaning son. Read.
Of the children of Israel.
Even of the sons of the children of Israel, the blood descendants of the children of Israel. Those are the saints of the Most High that needs to be gathered. They need to know who they are. Give me Ezekiel 37:16 before we go back to Genesis 49. We're going to go through a couple of scriptures. We're not going to go in too much because we're going to be here till 6 o'clock if we go in too much. Give me Ezekiel 37:16.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 16.
Is everybody at Ezekiel 37:16? Come on.
Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it.
Read.
For Judah.
For who?
For Judah.
Who makes up the kingdom of Judah? Who makes up the kingdom of Judah? Judah, who make up the kingdom of Judah? That's the first Judah we have at our Shabbat service. It's the tribe of Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. They make up the house of Judah. Read.
And they Salakia. For Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
And who's the children of Israel? Let's continue reading.
Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph.
For Joseph, read.
The stick of Ephraim.
The stick of Ephraim is for the 10 tribes. Right? So like for the 9 tribes. I forgot. Joseph is big, Ephraim, and that's 1. It's for the other 9 tribes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Read.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions.
And for all the house of Israel. Read.
And join them one to another.
And join them one together. When you go into the Blue Letter Bible, go into the Hebrew, that word there is supposed to mean a plank or a board. Right? And you're going to see these people are listed on a board. Read.
Into one stick.
Read.
And they shall become one in thine hand.
They're going to become one in his hand. Read.
And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee.
Now you got to remember, when we at camp, don't we have the 12 tribes chart? And this is what the people always say to us. Read.
Saying.
What are they going to say?
Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
What do they say?
Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Don't they walk up and ask us, what is that?
Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
So Negroes is Judah. That's what they say. And this is what the Most High prophesies, that we will have this in these last days. A way to indicate the children of Israel. Is that all? Is that all the children of Israel? No. That's what's predominantly where the children of Israel are in these last days. There's still a remnant in the land of Africa, in Iraq, in Iran, in Assyria, in Japan, in China, in Fiji, in Australia. There's still a remnant that's over there. But predominantly, the majority of us is over here. And this was given to us to find the majority. The remnant is going to be gathered up by the Most High God. Read.
Verse 19. Say unto them.
What are we going to say?
Thus saith Yahawah. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick.
That we will be one nation when we gather ourselves together. Read.
And they shall be one in mind.
And we're going to be one people, one nation, not divided anymore. Let's go back to Genesis 49. Let's start back at verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
So Jacob is on his deathbed and he's receiving a prophecy. He's giving them prophecy. And he tells all the sons, gather yourselves together. Read.
That I may tell you
Uh-huh.
that which shall befall you in the last days.
In the what?
In the last days.
Now, is the man Judah alive today? Is the man Reuben alive today? So who is he talking about? It's the descendants. How do we know we're in the last days? Let's get there. You know what I want in Hebrews. Let's go into Hebrews. You know what I want, right?
I'll have one. Acts on over.
Give me Hebrews 101.
And also Matthew 24.
Those are indicators of the last days. But the last days is like a dispensational time. We've been in the last days for over 2,021 years. About to be 2,022 years. We've been in the last days. Read.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Read.
Yahawah, who at sundry times,
Right.
in diverse manners,
Right.
spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
He spoke to us and our forefathers by Daniel, Aaron, Jeremiah, Ezra, Zerubbabel. Read.
Hath in these last days
In the last days, read.
spoken unto us
By
by
what?
his son.
By his who?
By his
The
son.
minute Yahawah was born, we entered into that dispensational time called the last days. Because that time is going to come when the kingdom of heaven is established. The Most High is letting us know where we would be in today's times, when we'll be scattered. When Yahawah left, 70 AD happened, and we really became scattered all over the face of all throughout the four corners of the earth. And the Most High has given us the clues and the keys that we need to be able to pick out our family from our enemies in these last days. Let's go back to Genesis 49.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Gather yourselves together
Uh-huh.
and hear, ye sons of Jacob,
Ye sons of Jacob, read.
and hearken unto Israel, your father.
Uh-huh.
Reuben,
What did he say?
Reuben,
Who?
Reuben,
Reuben, read.
thou art my firstborn,
Uh-huh.
my might,
My what?
my might,
Read.
and the beginning of my strength.
Why is Jacob saying this? Let's get 1 Chronicles 5 and 18. The Reubenites was make up the Seminole Indians that made up from Florida, I believe, all the way up to like southern Georgia. Was filled with the so-called Seminole Indians, which make up the tribe of Reuben. And he's about to give us some characteristics about them. One thing that we know about the Seminole Indians, they weren't like the Native Americans that sold out. A lot of them sold out to the white men. They gave them the first Seminole War and the second Seminole War. And they fought against the so-called white men to the bitter end. Read 1 Chronicles 5 and 18. Let's see a characteristic about the tribe of Reuben.
The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 5, verse 18.
Read.
The sons of Reuben
The sons of Reuben, read.
and the Gadites
And the Gadites, read.
and the half tribe of Manasseh
Read.
of valiant men.
They were what?
Valiant
This is
men.
why he's saying that the strength and power. Because Reuben was a valiant man. They were very valiant when you go into their history of the Osceola, the greatest warrior they had over here in Florida. Read.
Men able to bear buckler
They're
and
able to
sword.
what? A
Buckler
buckler is like a short shield. Read.
and sword.
And sword. Read.
And to shoot with bow.
Uh-huh. They were known for doing what? What was Native Americans and Seminole Indians known for? They were known for the bow. You will not see a so-called Jamaican man or Haitian man shooting each other with bows and arrows. You will not see that. The Native American Seminole Indians were known for that. They could shoot an apple off your head when you go over there by the slides with accuracy. Read.
And skillful
Uh-huh.
in
And they were
war.
skillful fighting the so-called white man in the Everglades, right? Fighting them in Sawgrass, fighting them throughout the state for the rights to have this land. Read.
Were 40 and 40,703 score.
Let's go back. So they were valiant men. When you go into their history, you see they have a long list of warriors and men that stood up. Let's go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Reuben,
Uh-huh.
thou art my firstborn,
Uh-huh.
my might,
Uh-huh.
and the beginning of my strength,
Uh-huh.
the excellency of dignity,
The excellency of dignity, read.
and the excellency of
And
power,
excellency of power, read.
unstable as
Stop.
water.
Now, when the Most High, through Jacob, was saying that the excellency and might and dignity is how the Seminole Indians carry themselves. There was a certain way they adorned themselves that separated them from the Native Americans. The Seminole Indians were known for wearing meat trees. They wear meat trees with feathers. They were known for wearing long robes and garments of diverse colors and metal breastplates. You can look up the images and you see for yourself. They were the only ones known for wearing that in the Americas, with that type of apparel. You will not see Native Americans, Aztecs, Incas, Mayans wearing mitris like Seminole Indians were at mitris. And mitris was something that's known in the East, not over here. You will not see any other Native Americans or indigenous people wearing mitris like the Seminole Indians. Read.
Unstable as water.
On what?
Unstable as water.
Now, even though they had all this might and strength, they were unstable as water. This is why you have something called the Trail of Tears. When they were exiled out and they had to walk out of Florida. So you don't see them anymore. Predominantly, Florida was filled with who? The Seminole Indians. Right. We should see them as much as you see Haitians and Jamaicans in Florida. And Miccosukee Casino. They're over there in the casinos, but everywhere, this whole land was belonged to them.
Right.
They came here first. The Most High said they would be unstable as water. They would not be able to prosper. They'd be like vagabonds. Read.
Thou shalt not excel.
They're not going to prosper. Why?
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Now, what did Reuben do to Jacob? He slept with his concubine, which is Jacob's what? Go ahead. Just like with so-called Haitians and Jamaicans, we fight against each other.
Right.
Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Listen, just because we Israel, I don't mean we're not gonna fight. They fought each other too. We fight each other. Judah fought the Native Americans. Judah fight Issachar. Issachar fight Levi. We always fighting each other. That's something throughout history we always did. Go right ahead.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
So that lets you know Jacob never forgot what he did.
Right.
Years later, Jacob never forgot he slept with his woman. And he's saying, no, he's not going to prosper because of it. Now, just because we don't see Reuben today, does that mean to know more? Let's get to Deuteronomy 33, verse 6. That's what the Most High said about Reuben later on. This is years later, hundreds of years later. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 6. Even though you don't see them a number or amount of them, that don't mean they're not here anymore. They're still here. A lot of them, they look like Judahites because a lot of them had intermingled with the tribe of Judah. So they resemble the tribe of Judah a lot. There's a lot of people who think they're Judah, but a lot of them can be Gad or Reuben. Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 6.
Read.
Let Reuben live.
What did the Most High say?
Let Reuben live.
Even though he did that, even though Jacob said, don't let him prosper and excel, the Most High said, let him live. Because his numbers dwindled after all these fightings with the so-called white man. Read.
And not die.
And let him not die. Because the Most High made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? What was the promise? What was the promise he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Exactly. And the Most High will be alive if he cut off Reuben. So he said, let him live, let him not perish. Let's go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Read.
Then defilest thou it.
Read.
He went up to my couch. Simeon,
Who?
Simeon,
which is the so-called Dominicans of indigenous descent. Read.
and Levi
of slave descent. Read.
are brethren.
Now this is a problem child of Jacob. The Most High is saying that they're brethren because not just because they're brothers. It's evident that they're brothers, right? But there's something special about these two. In these last days, they'll be inhabiting the same place. Read.
Instruments of cruelty.
Instruments of what?
Of cruelty.
Of cruelty. Read.
Are in their habitation.
Now, what's known to be going on in Hispaniola? What's known? It's a lot of witchcraft. Santa Maria, voodoo. That's a lot of things. A lot of that's going on in that island. That's the instrument of cruelty the Most High is referring to. Read.
O my soul, come not thou into their secret.
Read.
Unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united.
What did he say?
Be not thou united.
Even though they're on the same island, they love fried plantain, just like each other, right? Rice and chicken, almost the same. They move the same. They dance just the same. Simeon just dance a little quicker. Levi dance a little slower.
Right.
They kind of look the same too when they're dark skinned, but they'll be divided. They'll always be beefing with each other, always fighting each other, always coming against each other, saying the other one is no good, even though they're like twin brothers. They're just the same. Two different sides of one coin. Read.
For in their anger,
Right.
they slew a man.
In their anger, they slew man. Who was that man they slew? The French? Mm-hmm. We're gonna continue reading. We're gonna go back to that story. Read.
And in their self-will,
Right.
they dig down a wall.
They digged down the wall. They broke down the peace that was going on during this time. Let's reference back to it. Genesis chapter 34, verse 24 to 31. Let's go back to it real quick.
When Simeon and Levi put together to kill the whole series of the guys that were circumcised.
Mm-hmm. The Shechem and the other Hamites. It didn't say rape. He slept with his sister. He slept with his sister. Go ahead and get that for me.
The book of Genesis 34 and 24.
Uh-huh.
And unto Hamor,
Is everybody there? Genesis chapter 34 and verse 24. All right, go right ahead.
and unto Hamor, and unto Shechem,
Uh-huh.
his son, hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city.
Mm-hmm.
And every male was circumcised,
Mm-hmm.
all that went out of the gate of his city.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob,
Uh-huh.
Simeon and
There's the
Levi,
common children again. Read.
Dinah's brethren,
Uh-huh.
took each man his sword, and they came upon the city boldly
Mm-hmm.
and slew all the males.
Mm-hmm.
And they slew Hamor and Shechem
Uh-huh.
His
This is
son.
where they slew the man. Read.
with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
Mm-hmm.
The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city,
Mm-hmm.
because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep and their oxen and their donkeys, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and all their wives they took captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me stink among the inhabitants
This is
of
how
the
they
land.
dig down the wall. There was peace there. Jacob didn't have a beef with nobody until they killed them, and now they're causing static between Jacob's house and all the surrounding Hamites. Because the nations, they don't have no issue gathering themselves together and ganging up against us.
Right.
We have the issue gathering together and ganging up against them. Read.
Among the Canaanites
Uh-huh.
and the Perizzites,
Uh-huh.
and I be few in number,
Uh-huh.
they shall gather themselves together
Right.
against me
Mm-hmm.
and slay me.
And this is how they dig down the wall, the peace between Jacob and the surrounding Hamites. Let's go back to Genesis 49.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Cursed be their anger,
Uh-huh.
for it was fierce,
Uh-huh.
and their wrath,
Mm-hmm.
for it was cruel.
Mm-hmm.
I will divide them in Jacob.
So the Most High said he would divide them in Jacob. Who's the them he's talking about now? In every community, you have them in your community. And when you don't just see one of them, you'll see them. You'll smell the APs cooking up. You'll see the fried bun being fried up. You smell the pricklies when you're coming out of school, and there'll be a couple of them. The Most High said he would divide the Levites amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. This is why when they came into the land, they didn't have an inheritance. You had them amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Even in today's time, in every community amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, you will see a small community of who? So-called Haitian man right there. In every community amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead. Exactly. In Mexico. I didn't even know Levites was in Mexico like that until 2 years ago. I seen them speaking Spanish on TV. I didn't know Levites was in Chile until I found out I had cousins in Chile and in Brazil and in Argentina. They're there. Everywhere amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, you'll see them there. The Most I say he'll divide them and scatter them amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
And scatter them in Israel
Uh-huh.
and Judah.
Mhm.
Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Now, who's Judah? It's the so-called African American, the man with the jokes. Judah's known for the jokes, even in the Caribbean. Read that again.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
So the Most High said, Judah's your brothers in the praise. They're gonna acknowledge. You're gonna be like, dang, he's so funny. Dang, I like how he dressed. All the 12 tribes of Israel, even though they don't admit it, they follow what Judah does. If Judah wears sandals with socks, guess what? Levi don't wear sandals with socks in the islands. When they come here, they follow after Judah. When Judah have the big dreads, what is Benjamin and everybody else doing? They're doing the same thing Judah's doing. Judah's getting into rapping, everybody else want to rap. Judah got the mouth full of gold, everybody want to wear the mouth full of gold now. Judah will be the one whom his brethren shall praise and acknowledge. Read.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemy.
That he'll be his hand will be at the neck of his enemy. Judah will be right there with his oppressors. In the higher echelons, you don't see Benjamin really up there like that in Esau society. If you see anybody amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, you'll see one of the Judites up there. And rather they're senators, rather they're lawyers, rather they're doctors, rather they're up there in the music industry, they'll be right there at the neck of their oppressor. Read.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
They shall who?
Shall bow down before thee.
Now, what does this mean? Exactly. Judah will receive the authority to be the kings.
Right.
Because the king, the one and only king that's going to reign over the children of Israel to come is coming from the tribe of what? Coming from the tribe of Judah. Read.
Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
Now the Most High is telling us that Judah back in the days used to be a lion's whelp. A young lion is about the action. He's going to take down the wildebeest. He's going to come and devour, come and get. That's how Judah used to move. When Judah used to have, their families used to be together. When they used to have the Black Panther Party. When they used to stand up during the civil rights movement. They used to stand up against the oppression back in the days. Read.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
Read.
And as an old lion.
Now he's become a what?
An old lion.
Read.
Who shall rouse him up?
Now the Most High is saying, who's going to make him rise up? Who's going to make him remember he's not a hamster? He's a lion. He needs to stand up. This is why the Most High, every time there's a shooting, who keep getting targeted? What tribe? Who keep getting targeted by the police? The Most High is trying to give him sharp treatment to remember you are a lion. Stand up. Because if the so-called Black Americans were to rise up against the enemy, don't you think the Levites are going to remember? Like, dang, I need to stand up too. Ephraim was going to say, I need to stand up too. If they could do, we could do it too. All the other tribes are going to stand up and follow after his lead. That's why they got to stand up and remember he's a lion. Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
The seat has kings does not go depart from him. You're not going to have a Benjamite, Levi, Ephraimite, Manasseh king. It's always going to come from the tribe of Judah. Read.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Read.
Until Shiloh come.
Until who?
Shiloh come.
Read.
And unto him.
Unto what?
Unto him.
Now it's speaking about somebody else now. It's not talking about Judah as a tribe anymore. Read.
Shall the gathering.
Unto him shall be the what?
The gathering.
The who?
The gathering.
The gathering. Read.
Of the people.
Of the people. Read.
Be.
Now who's going to gather the children of Israel? How do we know that? Now we're going to go over the scriptures for this now. Because there's scriptures that you should have, that you need to have. If somebody who don't believe in the New Testament, say they don't believe in Yahawah and etc., somebody had to fulfill these prophecies. They weren't fulfilled in the old, quote unquote, Old Testament. So how do we know Yahawah is going to gather the children of Israel? Let's get Matthew 24.
The book of Matthew.
Let's let everybody get there. Matthew 24:30. So it says, unto him shall be the gathering of the people. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Who's the Son of Man? It's Yahawah. Read.
Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
And this has not happened yet. Read.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect.
Gather his what?
His elect.
His who?
His elect.
Now who's the elect? These are scriptures that you gotta have. Isaiah 44:1. You're in the right book, but wrong chapter. Who's the elect? And what?
Verse 4.
Let's get it.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake,
Read.
and Israel, mine elect.
This is who's going to gather him. This is the him. This is Yahawah who's going to gather the elect of the Most High.
the children of Israel from wherever we've been scattered. He's the one who has ultimately gathered us together. Let's go back.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds.
From the four winds of the earth. Let's go back to Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 11. Binding his foal unto the vine.
Binding his foal unto the vine, read.
And his donkey's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garment in wine.
No, stop. Now, what is this referring to? Anybody want to take a guess before we go into this account? Not that. That's a whole nother prophecy right there. Because you're on a roll, it seems. You're on a roll. Let's get Matthew 21. Let's get the account. Because it's talking about Yahawashi now. Judah being praised by his brethren, accepting not departing from him. It's talking about Judah as a tribe. Now it's shift over. Now it's talking about a specific individual in this tribe now. Read us up from Matthew chapter 21, verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 21 and verse 1. And when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come unto Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, then Yahawashi, then said Yahawashi, two disciples, saying unto them,
what did he say unto them?
Go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find a donkey tied, and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, the Lord hath need of them.
So he's telling them, go get these materials that I need. Because remember, Yahawah said all things in the prophets, in the law, in the Psalms concerning me have to be fulfilled. These things have to happen. And this is one of the things that had to come to happen, come to fruition. Read.
And straightway he will send them. All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, Tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, my king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitting upon a donkey, and a colt, the foal of a donkey. And the disciples went and did as Yahawashi commanded them, and brought the donkey and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees.
Now, let me get you an image of what's going on. Yahawashi sent them to go get the donkey so they could know that he is the Hamashiach Yahawashi. If you read the history, Solomon did the same thing. They put Solomon on a donkey so he could ride into the city so the people could know this is the crowned king over Israel. This is why Yahawashi is doing it. Because the people is waiting, they've been waiting for over 400 years. They've read Daniel. They read Ezra. They heard about this Messiah that's going to redeem them. They're under oppression. They're waiting for him. And he's fulfilling this prophecy so they could understand this is who the Most High sent. He's the one. Read.
Verse 8. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees.
Read.
And strawed them in the way. And the multitudes that went before and that followed cried.
What did they cry?
Saying, Hosanna, the son to the son of David.
What it is, Hosanna means save us, save me. That's what they're saying. Read.
Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord.
So this is when this prophecy was fulfilled. It was fulfilled by Yahawashi. One is going to be fulfilled. The other one was fulfilled. And it's all indicating back to Yahawashi. Let's go back to Genesis 49.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
You missed something. Go back and read verse 10.
Verse 10.
Verse 11.
Verse 11. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his donkey's colt unto the choice vine.
That we already went over. That was fulfilled. Read.
He washed his garment in wine.
He washed his garments in what?
In wine.
In what?
In wine.
In wine. Read.
And his clothes in the blood of grapes.
So is he going to use grape juice as detergent to wash his clothes? Is that what it's talking about? So what is this referring to? I feel like you guys are going to catch this one. What is Yahawashi coming back to do? Huh? He's coming back to slaughter. Let's get Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63.
And Revelation 19:13.
Come on. Isaiah 63 is what what the prophecy is, when this prophecy is going to be fulfilled. On the coming of Yahawah, he's going to wash his garments with the choice vine.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 63. Who is that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah?
Who's Edom today? It's Esau. So Isaiah's saying something through the Spirit. He's saying, who is this? Who is this individual that's coming from Esau, the so-called white man? Read.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Read.
I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Where art thou red in thine? Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel?
He said, why is your clothes red? That's what he's asking Yahawah. Read.
And thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine.
In the what?
In the wine.
In the
fat.
who?
In the wine fat.
Read.
I have trodden the winepress alone.
Now this is what Yahawah is telling him. He said, I did what?
I have trodden the winepress alone.
He said, you see this? I did this alone. Read.
And of the people.
And of the people, who's the people that we just read about? Who's the people is he's speaking about? It's Edom. Read.
There was none with me.
He said there was none left behind after I was done with them. Read.
For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury.
Read.
The blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Read.
For the day of vengeance.
The day of what?
The day of vengeance.
Are we in the day of vengeance right now? Why are we still here then? Not yet. We're not in the day of vengeance yet. The day of vengeance is when Yahawah shall return. Then he's going to execute vengeance. Read.
For the day of vengeance is in my heart.
Because that day when he comes back and redeem us and get payback for us, that's on his mind. Has this been fulfilled yet? No. These are scriptures. The reason why I'm asking if it's been fulfilled or not, these are questions to ask if somebody come and bring this doctrine to you. When has this been fulfilled? It hasn't. Let's go back.
The book of Genesis 49 and 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulon shall dwell at the heaven of the sea.
Who's Zebulon? Give me a country. Guatemala, Panama, Honduras. Read that one time.
Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
The Most High says Zebulon will dwell at the haven of the sea. Now, if you look at an ancient map of the land of Israel, Zebulon wasn't by the sea. His land was surrounded by the other tribes. He was landlocked. So that can't be talking about ancient Israel too. That also shows that this is future prophecy. That he will be by the haven of the sea. This is prophesizing about the Panama Canal, the greatest haven for ships in the Western Hemisphere. That they will dwell surrounding that area, that region. Read.
And he shall be for an haven of ships, and his borders shall be unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong donkey.
Who's Issachar? It's a so-called Mexican man. He's probably the one who did all of this right now.
Right. In a week.
Read.
Issachar is a strong donkey crouching down between two burdens.
Now he's crouching down between two burdens. Now what's a characteristic that's synonymous with a donkey? It's known for what? Carry a lot of work. People will put 50 sacks of rice on the donkey's back and he'll thug it out. No issues. That's the so-called Mexican man. He's carried all these burdens in America. Construction is him. Landscaping is him. All the things that you don't want to do, that's going to make you work 14, 15, 16 hours in the sun.
Right.
He'll do it.
Right.
$5 an hour. The Most High God is telling us that this is Issachar. Now he's crouching between two burdens. In Mexico and South America, he's catching it. And North America, he's catching it. Mexico's between both of those land masses. Read.
And he saw that the rest was good.
He saw when he came over here, rest is good. There's an opportunity over here. Read.
And the land that it was pleasant. And bowed his shoulder to bear.
He bowed his shoulder to be a laborer, to work for 2 cents, 2 cents every 3 hours. Read.
And became a servant.
And became a what?
A servant.
Why do you think the white man always uses the Mexicans? A lot of times people think Esau don't know scriptures.
When Satan came to Yahawashi, was he just using his words? What words was he using? He was using the scriptures. He knew the scriptures. The white man knows the scriptures too. He knows prophecy. This is why he pinpoints and attacks Issachar. This is why he attacks Judah, because he knows Judah's become an old lion. He knows prophecy. This is why he refused to let Haitians in America. Right. He know that we're gonna stand up for our brothers, and we're gonna rise up against them. He knows this. He understands scriptures. Read.
And he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant to tribute. Dan shall judge his people.
What does the scripture say?
Dan shall judge his people.
The scripture says Dan should judge his people. Dan is the indigenous people of Cuba. Read.
As one of the tribes of Israel.
As one of the 12 tribes of Israel. There's a video Chief Minister Shalom did. I would refer that you guys watch that video. He did a 2-hour breakdown of what happened to the tribe of Dan. What happened to them, their numbers diminished in the land of Israel because Manasseh started taking majority of their land throughout their history. And then they had to move and shift over to a smaller amount of land. Read.
As one of the tribes of Israel.
Read.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way.
He's going to be a serpent by the way. Just like Cuba is right there next to America. Everybody wants Cuba. If Russia could get Cuba, that would probably declare the third world war. Right. Because the Americans would not be able to sleep. Right. No, Russia got Cuba. Read.
An adder in the path.
He's like a serpent. A viper is what an adder is at a path. You don't see him, but he's there. You won't know he's there until after he bit you and he's down the block. Read.
That biteth the horse heels. So that his rider shall fall backward.
Cuba is capable of giving America a deadly blow that he won't recover from.
Right.
Cuba and Florida is right next to each other. If you wanted to blow up somewhere, like where's somewhere Esau stay? I would say North Lauderdale, but I stay there. Where's somewhere Esau stay? Like Clearwater.
Aventura.
Like Aventura. Right. Drop a little hydrogen bomb over there. Coral Gables, give them a bomb. And America will not be able to recover from that. Read. Go ahead.
Oh, they actually show that in that movie, X-Men First Class.
Oh, really? From Cuba?
The Russians, they brought the missiles over to Cuba. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Khan, yeah. You're right about that, yeah.
I got to get that clip and edit it and put the scripture. Read.
Verse 17.
No,
Salaki, verse 18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Yahawah.
And Dan is waiting for the salvation of the Most High. Go ahead. Dan is actually, when it says Manasseh, is actually Dan, because remember, Joseph is who? Joseph makes up Ephraim and Manasseh. Anytime in the history in the Torah, wherever you see the tribe of Levi is mentioned, because usually, sometimes we're not mentioned, and then you see Ephraim is his own tribe and Manasseh is his own tribe. Anytime we're reckoned amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, Ephraim and Manasseh is the house of Joseph now. When it's saying Manasseh, it's actually Dan, because Manasseh took up Dan's plot of land. So it's actually supposed to be Dan. That's supposed to be mentioned. Chief Minister did the video. I got to find that video because he only did it once, like 2 years ago. I got to find it. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Now, who's Gad? Thank you. See, you probably a Native American standing up. You ought to scream it.
Yeah, right.
It's the Native Americans. Read.
But he shall overcome at the last.
Who's the troop that overcame him? The so-called white man. President Jackson, Ulysses Grant, all these guys who gave the Native Americans hell. But the Most High said that he will overcome in the end. How is he going to overcome in the end? How is he going to overcome? How are we going to overcome in the end? By fighting, by conflict. But we got to keep the commandments.
Great slaughter.
Exactly. By great bloodshed are we going to meet them in the end. This is how Gad is going to overcome. Give me Deuteronomy 33 also. On Gad. Give me Deuteronomy 33, verse 20 to 21.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 20.
Now, there's a lot of historical references we could go into, but it'll take us more than the time we have. And I don't know if you guys are going to fall asleep on it.
And of Gad, he said,
what did he say of Gad?
Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
He said, blessed is he that enlargeth Gad. Read.
He dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm with the crown
with
of
the
the
what?
head. With the crown of the head.
Now, what was Gad known for doing with the Esau? With the tomahawks? Exactly. They were known for peeling the scalp. It says with the crown of the head. This word comes from Deuteronomy 33. That Gad was known for doing. Simeon, Levi, Ephraim, Dan, Asher, they weren't known for doing that. Gad was known for doing that over here.
scalping Esau and leaving it behind so other Edomites know this is not an area you should come through. Go back to where you was at.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Out of Asher,
Out of who?
out of Asher,
Out of what?
out of Asher,
Out of Asher, read.
his bread
Uh-huh.
shall be fat.
The Most High said that Asher's gonna have riches. Asher's gonna have substance, read.
And he shall yield royal dainty.
He's gonna have a lot of sweets. The most famous sweets and desserts is found in the land of Asher. In places like Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, they're known for their sweets and their dainties and all the good things that you like to get from Publix bakery. That's where it comes from. We come from the tribe of Asher. They got the best. But let's get Deuteronomy 33 about Asher. So a little bit more about Asher. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 24.
The book of Deuteronomy 33 and 24.
Is everybody at Deuteronomy 33 and 24? Everybody there? All right, come, let's go.
And of Asher,
And of who?
and of Asher,
Asher makes up the Venezuelans, the Brazilians, the I feel like Colombians. They make up the tribe of Asher. I believe Bolivians as well. Read.
he said, let Asher be blessed with children.
Asher is known for having plenty of children, especially in their countries. You just see Asher here with 2 children. Over there, they're known for having 14, 13, 12, 11 children.
All right.
Read.
Let him be acceptable to his brethren.
Because in the Amazons, you have a lot of Asherites who are eating other northern kingdom. They're doing things like cannibalism. Read.
And let him dip his foot in oil.
In what?
Let him dip his foot in oil.
What's under your feet? The ground. Venezuela is known for having a lot of what? A lot of oil. They'll be different. That's why America was messed up the economy. Because they wouldn't give them the oil. Read.
Thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
It should be what?
Iron and brass.
Now, does anybody know where the word Brazil comes from? I know Rob brought it out. Brazil is actually a Hebrew word. It comes from Brazil. I believe you ever knew that? I know you guys studied the modern Hebrew a lot. Brazil comes from the Hebrew word Brazil or Barazal. That's what we gave the brother named Barazal. That means iron in Hebrew. Just like the scriptures say, Asher shall what? Read that again.
Asher, Selachit, thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
They should have a lot of iron and brass, a lot of precious metals will be in that area. And historically, and you can look this up, they have a lot of different type of precious metals in that region in South America. Read.
And as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
Let's go back to Genesis.
And you know, the funny thing about it is that Esau really had to have us, you know, cultivate the land and deal with the land to understand even how to deal with these precious metals, right? He didn't really have the knowledge to do these things. Because think about it. He brought our people, right, over to the Americas. He went and enslaved the Northern Kingdom over in their lands where they already were. Yet, at the end, he needed their knowledge in order to know how to deal with the land. That's why our people, they think Esau is so kind that he allows us to have these jobs. He needs your knowledge, right? So he says, killing you isn't doing him no good anymore. Yeah. I'll just let you work for me, for, like you said, for 2 cents an hour. Northern Kingdom be sweating in that heat, man, slaving, also that they can try to send their child to college and break that, you know, that poverty-stricken curse over them, man.
Right.
But nonetheless, Esau isn't going to let them get away that easy, right? You can't have all the Mexicans in college, right? Eventually, he's gonna have to put a stop to that, man. Because you see them coming out with all this artificial intelligence. Guess what? If they come out with all this AI, they're not gonna need you to do those jobs anymore. Right. Guess where you're gonna go right back to? The fields. That's exactly what they're trying to put our people back into, man. The fields. And allow us to have to deal with the things that they don't want to deal with. They're not creating that artificial intelligence to make the world a better place. They're doing it to put Israel back out of job and back into the fields, man. Let's go back. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose.
Moses said Naphtali is a hind let loose. Who's Naphtali today? It's a so-called Chilens and Argentinians. They make up the tribe of Naphtali, the Capucha and the Kola Indians of those areas. Read.
Naphtali is a hind let loose.
He's a hind let loose. When you go into that word hind and you go to the etymology of that word, let's know they're very creative people. They're very artistic people when you go into the etymology of that word hind or ayala in the Hebrew. Let's get Deuteronomy 33 a little bit more about Naphtali.
The book of Deuteronomy 33:23.
Come.
And of Naphtali,
he
said,
what did he say?
O Naphtali,
O Naphtali,
satisfied with favor.
It was favor of the Most High, read, because you don't see a lot of Argentinians and Chileans like that. You don't come across them like that. Read.
And full with the blessing of the Lord. Possess thou the west.
The what?
The west.
The who?
The west.
The west. Read.
And the south.
Now, when you go into the ancient map of Israel, do they possess the west and the south of Israel? No. When you go to a map of South America, who possesses the south and west? Argentina and Chile. As I think, predominantly the tribe of Naphtali is in those areas, especially in the mountains. The majority of the indigenous people stay in the mountains in those areas. Let's go back before we read that Genesis 49.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow.
Now, who's Joseph? The house of Joseph, the Boico and Taino Indians that's found in the land of Puerto Rico. You still have a lot of the children of Joseph that's in the Eastern Hemisphere. One of them was known for coming over here in the slave ships with us. The tribe of Yoruba. They come from the house of Joseph as well. They actually let us know through their oral traditions, they're the sons of Ephraim. They let us know that through the history. When you go into the books like the Hebrewism of West Africa, they let you know. Go ahead and read.
Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall.
He's known for having a lot of children. Ephraimites are all over the place.
Right.
The house of Joseph is all over the place. Too many of them could fit in that land. The land of Puerto Rico is too little to fit all of them. Read.
The archers have sorely grieved him.
Who's the archers that came into the land of Puerto Rico and oppressed them? It's the Spaniards that came and oppressed them. Read.
And shot at him and hated him.
And today, the land of the Puerto Ricans and Ephraimites, they cleave onto the white man, even though they're the ones that were shooting at them and hated them and rised up against them. Read.
But his bow abode in strength. And the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob.
Read.
From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel.
Read.
Even by the power of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb.
So Joseph would be blessed with substance, with riches, and they're going to be blessed with the womb. They're going to be able to have a lot of children. Even though that they violated the law of the Most High, they turned it back, just like all Israel turned it back from the Most High.
Right.
That the Most High will still bless them. When you go into the Torah in the book of Deuteronomy and Genesis, the house of Joseph received above and beyond the most blessings out of all 12 tribes of Israel combined. They received the most blessings. That shows you that the Most High have a lot of favor for Joseph. Go ahead and read.
Verse 26. Blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin.
See, he said that with energy. When he said it to Levi, he said it was like he said. But Benjamin is is so-called West Indians. Right? All of those who speak that dialect of the Patois, kind of Patois dialect, that broken English dialect at Bermuda, Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad, Guyana, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Virgin Islands, they make up the tribe of Benjamin. Read that again.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Now, when the scriptures say he raven like a wolf, what is that? What do you think that means? Because Benjamin is known for doing something amongst their tribe, especially in their music. We have a lot of Benjamites here too. We got a few Benjamites here. All the tribes get riled up. But Benjamin just do something completely different from all the other tribes of Israel. Reggae. It's not reggae. Levi got reggae too. No. It's what they talk about in the music. Because out of all the 12 tribes of Israel, who speaks about Zion the most? Who speaks about Israel the most? Who speaks about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the most? Who talks about being Israel the most? Is the tribe of Benjamin. They're gonna raven. They're gonna cry out to the Most High God. They cry out through their music. They speak about the most righteousness, excluding Selassie in their music amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
Let's get Deuteronomy 33 about Benjamin a little bit more. I believe 33 and 12.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 12. And of Benjamin,
And of who?
and of
And of
Benjamin,
Benjamin, read.
he said,
Uh-huh.
the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in safety.
The
by
Most High
him.
said that Benjamin will dwell. Is Mike gonna go off? Watch. Most High gonna get jealous for the other tribe. The Most High said Benjamin will dwell in safety. When you look at the Corinthians, what tribe do you see never get any earthquakes? What tribe never get hit with a category 5 and their island is upside down? What tribe never get any wildfires? What tribe never get any hailstorm? Is the tribe of Benjamin. The Most High said they're gonna dwell in safety. A hurricane could do 5 circles around Jamaica and then go past Haiti. Haiti will get the worst of it. And Jamaica will be just fine for their reggae fest that weekend. Read.
Being blessed of the Lord be his land. For the precious, Salaki. And the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
And he will dwell between the shoulders of the Most High. Most High is going to protect him and be an overseer on the tribe of Benjamin. Let's go back to Genesis 49.
Also, when you look at that word raven, right, it also means to be hungry, right? And if it's one thing, I can't speak to any other, part of the West Indies, but in Jamaica, listen, they would they would try to take every dime out of your pocket, man. Our people, that's one thing about Benjamin, man, they always trying to get it, man. They hungry, right? What they say about Benjamin? We got how many jobs, right? 20, right? They're hungry, man. Those are one people, man, they're always trying to get it, man, no matter how, right? Even though we have that good culture, because a lot of our men, they party 7 days a week, right? Don't have nothing in their pocket, but party 7 days a week. Always got a smile on their face some way, somehow, man. But listen, the opportunity comes for them to get some type of money, they're gonna do it, man.
That's true.
Right? They're going to do it. I had my auntie, she's down in Jamaica right now. And she went out with a friend, and basically he was trying to juggle her, right? And she kind of caught on to him. And you know what he told her? He said, man, listen, I don't care if it was my mom. Right? He admitted that that's just part of our culture. Like, we don't have nothing. We trying to get it. So for us, we might be like, man, that's wrong, man. Don't try to get it from them. But in their mind, they don't have nothing like that, man. Right? The island is rich. You got mango trees falling. You got 10 mangoes just hit the ground just now, right? so they don't have to go through it, man. They don't have to go through it, but they look at what? They look at what their brethren have. They look at what Judah have. They want what Judah have. They want the gold chain, right? And then what we want the fresh fruit from Jamaica, right? So that's just the crazy part about it, man. How our people have all of these riches around us, but we so impoverished that we don't even look towards it, man. All right. Let me go back. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them. Everyone according to his blessing, he blessed them. And he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for a possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet unto the bed and yielded up the goats, and was gathered unto his people.
And he passed away. The book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept on him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him. For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed.
And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die in my grave, which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. There shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again.
Right.
And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear.
Right.
And Joseph went up to bury his father, and went with him. And went up all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph, and his brethren, and his father's house. And only their little ones, and their flocks, and their herds, and they left in herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Ahtha, which is beyond Jordan. And there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days.
Gone. So at this time, Jacob passed away, right? And he did what he said that he was going to do to his father, bring him right to the burying place of his forefathers, where Abraham was buried, where Isaac was buried. And the real significance about this is that Jacob is at an old age right now. Eventually, our parents are going to reach that old age if they're still alive. But the thing about it is that they're going to ask things of us, because of course, when they're about to give up that ghost, they want to have some type of peace that their child is going to be doing right when they leave here. Hopefully, when we get that age, right, we're probably going to ask our children, man, to swear unto me that you're going to continue to keep Torah. Hopefully, when I give up this ghost, man, I don't have to worry about you going into wickedness. And it's a thing that we need to build back into our communities, is the respect of our parents, especially in old age, right? Just because you're making $100,000, that don't mean that you can just leave your parents, idle by the side because you want to go to the trip to Dubai. But guess what? Your mom might be sick. She might need your help. She might need you to care for her for 2-3 months until she regains her strength. She might be going through an ailment. Let me get Sirach 3 and verse 1. We're going to read a couple of scriptures just pertaining to how we should deal with our parents, man, especially in their old age. Because at this time, Joseph could have been like, man, my father being a burden to me, right? I don't got time to deal with this. I'm Lord over all Egypt, right? I'm trying to build me a new mansion over there in the land of whatever, right? I don't got time to deal with my father. But he was worried about what his father had concern for his brethren, man. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 1. Read. Hear me, your father, O children, right, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For Yahawah has given the father honor over the children, and has confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Read. Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins.
Right? So I know sometimes we come into this truth and your parents might not want to deal with you. That don't mean that you could dishonor them. You still have to honor them. All right, they may not be speaking to you. You can still shoot them a text. I hope everything is well. Hope all is good. Because that's an atonement for your sins. And we all sin, come. We read it.
And he that honoreth his mother has one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children.
Right.
And when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life.
Right.
And he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother.
Right? What? There's one thing, like I said, our parents might disagree with, what we come into, but guess what? They're not worried. Because they know we're not out there just fornicating and have to come home and say, Mom, I got HIV. I got AIDS. All right. I'm terminally ill. They don't have to worry about us getting shot down because we ain't in no games. They don't have to worry about us getting these diseases because we're not eating unclean food. All right. So they may disagree with what we have going on, but they don't have to worry. That's one thing they know. And eventually they start to look and say, you know what? My son has really changed. My daughter has really changed. And they start to look at their life as they're doing wrong. Because we start to tell them the truth about the scriptures, the truth about the prophecy to come, and let them know if you don't repent, you might be my parents, but the Most High still gonna deal with you. Read.
He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto Yahawah shall be a comfort to his mother.
Read.
He that feareth Yahawah will honor his father,
Uh-huh.
and will do service unto his parents, as to his masters.
Right?
Wait, it's like I just want to add. That's kind of deep.
Right.
Is it the same type of energy you give your boss at work?
Right.
It's the same type of service you're supposed to give your parent,
Con.
right? You know the way if your boss asks you to go throw out the trash, you're not gonna talk back.
Right.
That's the same type of spirit you're supposed to have towards your parents, whether they're in or out of the truth.
Con.
I just wanted to add that in there.
We're going to read that in verse 16.
Honor thy father and thy mother,
Uh-huh.
both in word and in deed,
Right?
that a blessing may come upon thee from them.
Read.
For the blessing of the father established the house of the children,
Uh-huh.
but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundation.
So what? At the end of the day, the father's right. The blessings will come through him. But then if the wife is out of order, that just throws the whole rotation into shambles, man. Right? But guess what? You as a child, be obedient to both of them. Right? Because essentially, the blessings is still going to come down. But you don't be out of order, because now the whole house is truly in shambles. And then guess what? You're going to continue to be out of order. Then your wife going to be out of order. And now everything is messed up. But as long as you stay in order with the instructions from the Most High God, at least there's hope for that next generation. Read.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father,
Uh-huh.
and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children.
Right? That's why when we was little, anybody said something about the old girl, you had to throw hands, right? Oh, your mama this, your mama that. Oh, you want to dishonor my mama? That's a reproach unto the children. You're not gonna talk about the old girl like that.
That's how you get a first-class passport back to the Most High.
Exactly. Okay, nobody's letting that slide. I don't think anybody here let anybody talk about their mama. Right? We all had to check whoever said that, man. I remember them times in middle school. Read.
My son, help thy father in his age,
Uh-huh.
and grieve him not as long as he liveth.
Right? That's the point that I really wanted to make. When they get old, we can't grieve them. We gotta help them. Because when you was a little baby and you could barely walk and you was falling over everything and you almost fell into the pool, they was right there, right? And that's why you were still alive today. So now when their strength is failing, their eyes are getting dim, they can't do the things that they used to do for you. It's your time to pick up that slack. Read.
And if his understanding fail,
Uh-huh.
have patience with him,
Right.
and despise him not, when thou art in thy full strength.
Listen, I have to press the input button on the TV almost every day. Right? They think that the TV is broken and they just have to press the input button, right? Right? That's something I gotta have patience with, right? But I remember the times, man, probably when I was doing something, they was like, you don't understand this, right? It's so simple. But now it's my time to try to help them, man. Read.
For the relieving of thy father
Uh-huh.
shall not be forgotten,
Uh-huh.
and instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up.
Read.
In the day of thy affliction, it shall be remembered. Thy sins also shall melt away,
Uh-huh.
as an ice in the fair warm weather.
Uh-huh.
For he that forsaketh his father has a blasphemy.
Is a what?
A blasphemy.
Read.
And he that angereth his mother is cursed of the Most High.
Right. So as we see here, man, Joseph did a great thing by honoring the request of his father. Right? Jacob could have died. He could have just buried him in Egypt, and how Jacob was going on, right? Well,
Let us talk about something. When they said that embalming, that's not really our custom.
correct. That's not our custom.
Egyptians. That's
Right.
our custom.
That is an Egyptian custom. But remember, even though Joseph is Lord over Egypt, he just can't be going around dissing what the Egyptians got going on.
Yeah.
You got to use wisdom to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So you got to think about Joseph. Was Joseph dressing in Hebrew apparel while he was in Egypt? I'm pretty sure not. He was dressing in Egyptian apparel.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
But of course, that's the same thing with us, right?
So just like I add on to when they were embalming the body, they were just coating it with things to reserve the body because remember they were mourning him for 40 days.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jacob's body was there for 40 days before they took it out over there.
Right.
So then the body, when you die, your body starts deteriorating at a rapid pace.
Right.
So for his body not to be falling apart and
Yeah.
his eyeballs coming out the cart, they had to embalm it, preserve it so it could last all the way for that travel,
Oh,
that
that's a good
distance.
point. That's a good
So
point.
that's why they embalm it.
Yeah, you can pick back up at verse 11. One more precept. Sirach 22 and 12
Go ahead.
for the time of mourning. Of course, loved ones pass, it's going to hurt, especially if you grew, you really grew up with them. You might have, uncles and aunties that you probably really don't know. You hear they passing, it really don't hit you like that. But if you grew up with grandma, you grew up with your old boy, it's gonna hurt, right? but still at the same time, if mourning too long can be a negative. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy.
No.
Sirach chapter 22, verse 12. 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead. But for a fool and an ungodly man, all the days of his life.
Right? That you can't because then next thing you know, man, he's gonna be wanting to throw on a suit and become a vigilante, man.
You be chunky
Right?
Jesus.
You're gonna want some type of revenge, man. You gotta, yes, it's gonna hurt, but 7 days, you gotta get that out your system, man. All right, read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 11. And when the inhabitants of the land of the Canaanites saw the mourning in the floor of Ahtad, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians." Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham brought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father, as he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him.
Right, so Joseph's brothers, they fretting at this point. They like, dang. You know, Joseph probably was keeping his cool because daddy was here. But boy, he about to give it to us, man. We about to get everything that was coming to us, right?
I think he had that Esau spirit.
Exactly, right? They probably was walking real slow to go bury Jacob, right? They didn't want that time to come. Read.
And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying,
He didn't say that. Right. So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin. For they did unto thee evil, and now we pray thee forgive the trespass of the servants of Yahawah, of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him.
So they put out all the trump cards they could, right? They referred to themselves as the servants of God, right? Your father commanded. They trying to make sure Joseph do not pull that trigger on them. Read.
And his brethren also went and bowed and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we be thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of Yahawah? But as for you, ye thought evil against me. But Yahweh meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore fear ye not. I will nourish you and your little ones, and be comfort. And he comforted them and spake calmly unto them.
Let me get James 5:9. That's a big thing, man. Because I mean, I've had issues with homeboys in my life, but none of them ever sold me to slavery. Right? None of them ever thought to kill me. But imagine what Joseph had to go through, man, and imagine how much faith, right? How much integrity it had to take for him to forgive his brethren, man. All of them, right? All of them. Read.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 9.
So calm when you get there.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 9. Grudge not one against another.
Right.
Brethren, lest ye be condemned.
Right.
Behold, the judge standeth before the door.
Listen, the Mashiach Yahawah, they're going to take care of all that judgment. That's why Joseph replied to them. Am I in God's position? All right, whatever judgment y'all got coming, I don't have to do it. The Most High, the Most High handled it, however he see fit. But I know that I'm not supposed to have no grudge against them because they're not, at that point of almost dying. They're probably not that old. Probably in there, around probably 40 to 60, right? But they're not that old. They still got a couple of, some 40, 50, 60 years to live. So what is Joseph supposed to do? Bear a grudge this whole time? Because at any time, if you bear a grudge, all they have to do is say one thing. It could be 5 years later, and Joseph just snapped. Right? I've been wanting to put y'all to death. Boom.
They could say something like, Joseph, that's a fresh garment. He don't remember how they took his garment.
Right. y'all flying, huh? Yeah, read verse 10.
Go ahead.
Because this is the thing here, man. That every time I see that word long suffering, I ask the Most High to increase my faith. Because I know that's something I got to work on, man. Long suffering is something I know I have to work on. Read.
Verse 10.
take my brethren, the prophets,
Uh-huh.
who have spoken in the name of Yahawah for an example.
For what?
An example,
Right?
of long suffering, affliction, and of patience.
For suffering, affliction, and patience. Those two don't seem like they should go hand in hand. But as far as when you the servants of the Most High God, you the children of Israel, you have to. Because that's how our God is. All right? All the sins, right, that we were committing against him, he was long-suffering, man. He was patient. He gave us time. You know how many times the Most High redeemed us out of captivity? And what happened when we got redeemed out of captivity? we sinned this very same day, right? And then as soon as it got bad again, we cried out again, man. That's our people, right? That's the nature of our people. Once we get saved, we like, it wasn't even that bad, man. Right? Let's go back and try it again. But this time he said, you know what? I never gave y'all over to Esau. And that's what did it for us, man. Right? That's what did it for us. We go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 22. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt,
Right.
he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years.
Right.
And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The generation of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Yahawah will surely visit you and bring you out of this land, unto the land which he swore to Abraham,
Right.
to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Yahawah will surely visit you, and ye should carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
So that ends the portion. Let's get the Most High round of applause. You know, it's always good to get information, what's the word I'm looking for? Reinforced. Because we go over this Torah portion, it's our history, but it's also lessons for us to learn. And of course, we go over it every year. So by the time we go over Genesis again, it may be something that you went through that the scriptures may have a little bit more of a connection with you next year than it did this year. That's why it's important that we continue to receive instruction. Because once you get, this is like a lot of us went to school. We don't remember everything that we learned in school. All right. Sometimes we try to help our little cousin or somebody up with homework, and it baffles us. Right? The instructions are so simple, it seems complicated. Right? Because that instruction that we've got from the school system, we don't continue to get it. Even though it's indoctrinating our children with some of this weird stuff, especially now, they're promoting, this whole homosexuality, transgender doctrine on our children, making them feel like they can make choices. I seen an article on the internet saying that we shouldn't change babies' diapers unless they give us permission. Who do you think wrote that article? Esau, right? The same one who wants to marry the tree. How am I supposed to ask this baby for permission, right? But in his mind, he thinks he's being righteous. That's Esau's righteousness, man. Wickedness is his righteousness. That is crazy. But that's what we have. That's why we have to get this instruction, because the instruction from the world turns us into beasts, man. Turns us into fools. Brings us further away from the Most High God. Because they still think that they have that power to put us back into slavery, put us back into chains. At that time, man, we was far away from the Most High God, right? We was going through a punishment. Now you got Israelites all around the world waking up. It's getting harder for them to push their agenda, man, especially upon our children, right? Especially upon our children. When they go to, a lot of our children going to be in detention. I just got to keep it real. Because they're not going to go for it in school, right? All you're going to hear is Ma Abba said La all throughout the class, right? You know what my Abba is, right? We all going to be there in the parent-teacher conference, right? With garments on, like, it is what it is. But guess what? At the end of the day, man, the Most High is our power. The Most High is the only one that we have to serve throughout our whole life and nobody else.
Gun. The only announcement I would like to share with everybody is that we're still reviewing the calendar for 2022 for the feast days. I know I was in it, so I haven't had the opportunity to review it. This week was really crazy. I'm gonna try to review it by this weekend, and by tomorrow night I'm gonna review it, and we're gonna see if we can push it out so everybody can have a copy of it. If you need to know where it's gonna be posted at, it's gonna be posted on the TheeLightOfzion Miami Dade County Communities tab. So you should receive an alert on your phone and on the other YouTube channels. Like the main channel is gonna be uploaded on there. So you'll be able to screenshot it and save it to your phone. So you'll have it. So by tomorrow night, most high willing, we're gonna attempt to have it finalized and everybody have access to it. The only thing, the other announcement is tomorrow, I forgot the time, if you can help me for the family day. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., right? Wait, hold on. It ends at 4 p.m. It starts at 4 p.m.? Oh, I'm getting old. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. is a family day at Off the Wall at Coconut Creek Parkway. So if you would like to, invite a fellow Israelite brother or sister, rather they're from another congregation, or you've been telling somebody about Israel, I think that would be a perfect opportunity to bring them and invite them with their children so they can see the other children, see other fathers and mothers and families. That would be a good time to bring them. And we are Off the Wall at Coconut Creek Parkway. If you have any questions or concerns, please post it in the main channel, the main WhatsApp for the TheeLightOfzion, and somebody will get right back to you. Other than that, please donate, please support the true support we have going on here. Yes, this is the beginning. Yes, we don't have AC yet. We have the first AC the Most High give us, which is the wind. But we're going to get that building soon. Please support us at $DLOZMDC. Babu Shah, Babu Shah, Babu Shah. Do we have any questions? Any concerns? No? And let's give a round of applause for our guests, the wife of Captain Ahhad, for visiting us. All praises to the Lord. Hopefully she continues coming, supporting her husband. And we just ask that, you brothers with wives, you brothers with relatives, you brothers with brothers and sisters, please invite them over here. This is not a men's only club. This is not a brothers club. This is a family thing. This is a nationhood. A nation full of men, women, and children. So please invite them, Babu Shah. Other than that, Kevin, you have anything you want to say before we All right. Amadio Mopanya, Hakodam, rise and face the east.
The book of Psalms, chapter 67. Repeat after me. Yahawah be merciful unto us.
Yahawah will be merciful unto us.
And bless us.
And bless us.
And cause his face to shine upon us.
And cause his face to shine upon us.
Salah.
Salah.
Turn that thy way may be known.
My way may be known
upon earth.
Upon earth.
Thy saving health.
Thy saving health.
Among all nations.
Among all nations.
Let the people praise thee.
Let the people praise thee.
O Yahawah.
O Yahawah.
Let all the people praise thee.
Let all the people praise thee.
Oh, let the nations be glad.
Let the nations be glad.
And sing for joy.
And sing for joy.
For thou shalt judge the people righteously.
For thou shalt judge the people righteously.
And govern the nations upon earth.
And judge the nations of the earth.
Salah.
Salah.
Let the people praise thee.
Let the people praise thee.
O Yahawah.
O Yahawah.
Let all the people praise thee.
Let all the people praise thee.
Then shall the earth.
Then shall the earth
yield her increase.
yield her increase.
And Yahawah,
And Yahawah,
even our own power, shall bless us.
shall bless us.
Yahawah shall bless us.
Yahawah shall bless us.
And all the ends of the earth
And all the ends of the earth
shall fear him.
shall fear him.
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Hamashiach,
Mashiach,
Yahawashi,
Yahushua,
the water,
the water,
the yard,
Yad,
Aman.
Aman.
Abba Yahawah, come to the humble heart, mind, and soul. We thank you, Yahawah, for a great Shabbat. We thank you, Yahawah, for the instruction that you have given on us today. We thank you, Yahawah, for redeeming us, Lord, out of evil, iniquity, and sin, and bringing us into your marvelous light. We ask that you continue, Lord, to feed us, Lord, with your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that we may continue to grow in your word, Lord, and fight the good fight of faith, O Yahawah. May not Satan get any victories over us, O Yahawah, but allow us to cleave unto you when we are changed to a lower state. And allow us, Lord, to cleave unto your law, statutes, and commandments, Lord, for it was a goodly heritage that you have given unto the children of Israel, Lord, when you carried us out of the land of Egypt. Thank you, Yahawah, Lord, for your great word that you have given unto us to sanctify us from the other nations, O Yahawah. We ask, Lord, that you continue to build us up to be a great nation, the holy nation of Israel, O Yahawah. Bahasham Mashak Yahushai, the water of Yad, Aman.
Most our round of applause. All right, DJ.
Yes, sir. Maestro.
There's no power like Yahawah, great King.
King of the universe, always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel sing. And sing amen. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. 1, Abraham. 2, Isaac. 3, Jacob. 4, brothers wake up. 5, to reality. 6, nationality. Israel, 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 Israel. Day and night, when I'm sleeping in my spirit, comes a creeping in my bones. In my bones, in my bones, in my bones. Let's get it happen, let's get it happen. When I get to heaven, people gonna say, how you earn your living, how you earn your living, and how you earn your praise, how you earn your praise. And I'll reply with a little bit of anger. I'll reply with a little bit of anger. I earn my living as an Israelite ranger. I earn my living as an Israelite ranger. I carry my Bible by my side. I carry my Bible by my side. Gonna carry my Bible till the day I die. Gonna carry my Bible till the day I die. Israel, Hallelujah. 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 Praise his name. Hallelujah. Praise his name. Hallelujah. 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 All praises. Whoa, 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 standing tall, looking good. Standing tall, looking good. Preaching to the neighborhood. Preaching to the neighborhood. Standing tall, looking good. Standing tall, looking good. Preaching to our neighborhood. Preaching to our neighborhood. Hey, whoa, 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 Hallelujah. 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 Praise his name. Hallelujah. Praise his name. Hallelujah. 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 All praises.